To hear that. We've got Get It Off Your Chest coming up in a couple of moments. But before we do that, we have to do this. It's nearly over. The whole thing is nearly over. Honestly, it's about to come to an end. It's going to come to an end very, very soon. But not before this.
Now, it's time to play FM104's Rock, Shop and Drop.
With multitrip.com, Ireland's favourite travel insurance.
Yeah, now before I give you another opportunity to play FM104's Rock, Shop and Drop. Now, if you want to be in with a chance to qualify to be a contestant at around about 10 o'clock tonight, here's what you do. Here is exactly what you do. You send me a text right now and you start your text with the word rock. And then your name, age and location and send it to 53104. Why are you doing all this? Why? Because you want to win yourself FM104's Rock, Shop and Drop. You will rock in Dublin with Bruno Mars as a concert VIP, staying overnight in the Gibson with a limo transfer to Dublin Airport. From there, you'll fly business class with Emirates to Dubai, where you can shop your socks off with 5,000 dirham to spend. And from there, we'll fly you to Sydney, Australia, flying business class once again with Emirates, staying at the 5-star Sydney Hotel with thanks to Travel Cube. And while in Sydney, you'll face your fears as you're dropped below the surface to swim with a shark. Seriously. And if you survive that, if you happen to be still alive, we will pay you $2,000 spending money while you're in Australia. That's the prize. If you want to be in with a chance of me calling you at 10 o'clock tonight, here's what you do. You send us a text right now. You start your text with the word rock and then your name, age and location and send it to 53104. Okay? Text the word rock followed by your name, age and location and send it to 53104. Text costs 20 cents. You can enter as often as you like in the next hour, bearing in mind that 20 cent charge. And I could be calling you for FM104's Rock, Shop and Drop. Okay? Give it a go. Give it a go. And as I said, it's all about to come to an end. It's coming to an end very, very, very soon. Okay? Definitely has to come to an end. If you want to be in the final...
All good things.
Sorry?
All good things must come to an end.
That's it, yep.
Nothing lasts forever.
That's exactly it. And if you want to be in the final, which is on...
Friday.
It's on Friday, yeah. Well, seriously, get going. Sorry, what way are you sitting? Seriously.
I know. It has to be done this way.
It doesn't have to be done that way.
It does.
It doesn't. It looks ridiculous.
And we're around the radio. It doesn't matter if I look ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's part of the joy of working on the radio. You can look ridiculous. Now, can you pass me over that?
I will. There you go. That's it. Now we're all settled in. Nice and cosy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's Get It Off Your Chest. And if there's something on your mind that you would like to get off your chest...
You can do it right now.
Yeah, you can do it.
Finishing your sentences for you.
Call our...
Katie.
Right now on
697 104.
Yep, that's it. Okay.
That's what teamwork is all about.
Yeah, that's it.
Finishing each other's sentences. And hello, I think we've a couple of people listening to the show tonight who have never listened before. I want to welcome you along.
Oh, very good, yeah.
Say hello.
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 Who are these people?
New listeners.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
People who've never listened to the show before.
Very good, yeah.
And are listening tonight.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome.
This is us.
Yeah, this is us. We are what we are.
What?
We are what we... You know that gay anthem? I am what I am. You know that?
Yes.
We are what we are.
That makes absolutely no sense. And that was a Kesha song.
It wasn't a Kesha song.
It was.
I am what I am.
No, we are who we are was a Kesha song.
Yeah, but I am what I am.
Let's not waste time. And hello to all our new listeners.
Very good. Yeah,
Did you know?
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying that is because I was reading a radio magazine the other day and it said that each radio show gets about 20 new listeners every day.
Really? So we've 20 new people?
Yeah, 20 people that have never ever...
Oh, right. Have you names?
Sorry, just bear with me, hang on.
What are you doing? What, are you slurping your milk again?
And this is tea.
Oh, lovely. Okay, yeah.
So welcome to the people listening to the show tonight who may not be regular listeners.
Okay,
say
yes.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? I don't know your name, so I can't address you by name.
Yeah, but I hope you enjoy the show.
Hope you enjoy the show. Yeah, you're very welcome.
Now, the calls are flooding in at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll come to those in a moment. Jeez, look at the amount of calls we have coming in tonight.
Yeah, a lot of calls.
Okay, a lot of calls. We'll get to you in a second. But I want to talk to somebody as well who is afraid of fog.
Who's afraid of fog?
I'm afraid of fog.
You're afraid of fog?
As you know, if you're out and about around Dublin tonight, it's a very foggy.
It is a foggy night.
Have you weather news?
I have some traffic news.
No weather news.
Oh, hang on. Okay, weather news.
Yes.
The weather news is that it's foggy. Yep, that's the weather news.
Yes.
So let me just double check that weather news.
It's foggy.
Yeah,
okay.
it's foggy. Yep.
And last night when I was driving home from work as well, it was very foggy. Now I want to find. Am I the only person?
Here, I have it now. I have the weather news.
Don't want the weather news.
Overcast with mist or fog, and outbreaks of rain, but turning drier. But fog. Why are you afraid of fog? Who's afraid of fog?
What? I am.
Now, I know I mentioned this the last time there was fog. I think I mentioned it to you. How in God's holy... You know what, yeah?
Holy Jesus.
Yeah, do planes come out of the sky and land on the runway?
That's not what we're talking about.
Because I saw one.
It's not about planes.
It came out of nowhere, and there it was on the runway.
ILS.
How the does that work?
Instrument landing system.
Seriously, it's incredible.
You want me to tell you, there's basically a beacon that's sent out by the airport, and the airplane picks it up, and when the airplane hits the beacon, beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
That's what it goes, beep, 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 beep. It knows that it's about to land.
So the pilot's flying along, and it's... Bop, 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 bop.
If it's a Boeing plane, it goes burp, 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 burp.
Yeah.
If it's an Airbus, it goes beep, 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 beep.
Oh, right, okay. I always wondered.
Anyway, I'd love to talk to one other person who is listening to the show.
Who's afraid of fog?
Who's afraid of fog? I'm afraid of fog, and I'll tell you how it comes back. And we have some scary music.
Okay, scary music.
Scary music.
Okay, yeah. I'll press this.
I wish you could do this a bit quicker, and you know.
What? Well, make it look like we're all organised.
Yeah, when I say scary music.
Okay, there you go.
My fear of fog dates back to my childhood when I was a little whippersnapper.
Okay, back when you were a little whippersnapper, yeah.
And I remember, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the movie, but there was a horror movie out when I was a kid.
Right.
And it was all about this fog.
What was the movie called?
I can't remember for the life of me. It was all about a fog. The whole movie was based around the fog.
Right.
I'm sure some of you may remember this movie. It was out about 10 years ago.
Was it called The Fog?
Don't think so. That would have been too obvious a name for a movie.
Right.
But it was a horror movie about a fog.
Right.
And when the fog came in... Well, it did make a noise, Adrian. Fog doesn't make a noise, no, so... But when the fog came in, yeah? No. When the fog came in...
Okay, no, hang on, I'll do another... Here's fog music, yeah, okay? Here's the fog sound effect.
That fog doesn't make any noise. Anyway, I remember seeing this movie years ago when I was a kid. Can't for the life of me remember the name of it, but it was all about a fog. And when the fog came in, so did death.
Oh!
I think that was the tagline in the...
when the fog came in, so did death.
That may have been... That was the premise of the movie, okay?
When the fog came in, so did death.
That was the premise of the movie. That was the hook.
Fog is only low cloud.
No, but in this particular movie about the fog...
Yeah.
I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. It'll come to me. But it was a horror movie about a fog.
Right.
And when the fog came in, so did death. And there was no pirates in the movie, Adrian. And ever since I seen that movie when I was...
You saw it, yeah, ever since you saw it?
No, I seen it.
Ever since you saw the movie?
Ever since I seen that movie...
No, you didn't say it. Yeah, go on.
Ever since I seen that movie, yeah, I've been terrified of fog. And when I was driving home last night, the fog came down off the hills.
Oh.
And with it came death.
Why? Somebody crash?
No, There's no death last night, but...
Here's Shane.
Yes, Adrian.
How are you, Shane? You don't like fog either.
No, I don't like the fog.
What's your issue with the fog?
I think it's the fact that you can't see so far in front of you.
That's scary in itself. But isn't there a certain, Shane, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what she said last night, girl. Sorry about that, Shane. Childish humour. I can't put my finger on it. That's what Adrian's ma said to me last night. Sorry, Shane. But what is it that's so scary about it? I can't put my finger on it, but it's just...
I think it's just the fact that you can't see far ahead.
No, it's not that. It's just there's a certain eeriness about it. Isn't there?
Yes. I don't know what it is myself. I think it's just the fact that I can't see so far. I can only see a little bit down the road rather than a good that you normally see.
You see, I remember a couple of years ago, Shane, I was driving home late one night, yeah?
In the fog?
In the fog, yeah. and the fog was lying low over the fields, yeah?
Yeah.
And I have to drive up a country road over the fields, yeah? Adrian, would you shut up with the sound effects?
I'm trying to make it scary.
This isn't a Halloween show, okay? We don't
isn't
need
it?
you breathing heavy down the phone.
Oh.
And as I was driving down the country road, the fog was coming up over the fog bank, yeah, Shane?
Yeah.
And in the distance, I could see this sort of figure standing in the fog, holding what looked like a big cleaver, yeah?
Right.
And then in an instant, the figure had disappeared, and so had the fog. Or that could have been a scene from the movie that I watched as a kid. I'm not sure. I think that was probably a scene in the movie that I watched.
Right.
Did you ever see that horror movie about fog?
No.
Hello?
No, I'm terrified here.
Have you ever seen the movie about a fog from years ago, a horror movie?
No, I've never seen it.
I can't remember what it's called for the life of me.
Is it called The Fog?
No, that'd be too obvious. So you're terrified of it, are you?
I wouldn't say I'm terrified of it, I just don't like it.
And do you drive a car?
Yeah, sure, I'm out working in it at the moment.
Well, you're doing deliveries.
Yeah.
How can you help?
And are you terrified because you can't see in front of you? Is that it?
I wouldn't say terrified, I just don't like it.
Because as you know, Shane,
Yeah.
when the fog comes in, so does death.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they say.
I wouldn't go that far now, Johnny.
No, I'm just
You're making
saying.
it a bit dramatic.
I'm sure somebody has died in fog.
Yeah, obviously somebody has died.
Well, there you go. So fog brings death.
Somebody has died in 25-degree sunshine.
Thanks, Shane.
Along with the sunshine came death.
But how do you explain that story that I was driving up the laneway in my car and the fog bank came up over the hills?
That's what fog does.
But there was a figure holding a
figure.
Holding a what do you call that thing?
Now you're being a fool, Dixon.
What do you call that instrument that farmers use to pick up hay? You know, with a big long hook on it. What's it called?
I don't know.
The same thing. It's in the Russian flag. What's that thing called?
It's in the Russian flag.
You know, what's that?
Oh, a sickle.
A sickle. That's what he was holding. He was standing in a country road holding a sickle.
Oh.
At 1 o'clock in the morning. Covered in fog. And then the fog disappeared. And so did the man with the sickle.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm actually pretty sure that was the scene in the movie and that didn't actually happen to me.
Right.
Yeah.
You like the fog, Ronan, do you?
I do, yeah.
You do like fog?
Ah, yeah, just it scares you, it gives you a rush.
Gives you a rush? Jeez, am I the only one that's not bothered by the fog? I like the fog because at least you get to use the fog lights in your car. Otherwise they go to waste.
Jesus, is that the only reason?
Is that what you consider fun, turning on lights?
When you get to Adrian's age, well, you have to understand Adrian's about 60. When you get to Adrian's age, the most fun you're ever going to get is turning on your fog lights in the car. What age are you now, Kennedy?
102.
55 or 56?
107.
Or...
Yeah, 73.
73?
Yeah.
Are you?
No, but you get to put your fog lights on. Otherwise they're no use to you.
What?
You fog lights in your car, yeah?
I wouldn't even know where they are.
Yeah, that's the point. You should know. Make it your business.
Really?
So you wouldn't get scared by fog at all?
No, I don't. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. No, you just drive slower if you're driving. Take it nice and handy.
No, we're not talking about road fatalities, Adrian. We're just talking about...
Yeah.
The mystique of the fog.
Do you have imagination?
I have to say now, I wouldn't be overly keen to be stuck in the middle of a graveyard in the dark in the fog. That wouldn't work for me.
Because, as you know, Ronan, yeah? Ronan!
Yes.
Are you there? Wake up there. As you know, Ronan.
Yes.
When the fog arrives, so does death. So does death.
Yeah.
I really should have been expecting that.
Yeah, you should have been, yeah. Right, Ronan. Thanks very much, Ronan.
See you.
He likes the fog.
By the way, if there's any...
people
what the hell is that noise?
That's Dolores on a tractor. How are you, Dolores?
How are you?
Are you on a tractor?
I am, and I'm just pulling in.
Sorry, how do you think someone called Dolores would be driving a tractor in fog at this hour of the night?
It could have happened.
No, it's not.
How are you, Dolores?
I'm fine, thank you.
Dolores, why do you not like the fog?
We were flying into Burgas Airport and you couldn't see in front of us, and all the airports the flights wouldn't land, so the pilot on Aer Lingus, I have to give it to him, he got us down. But we jumped about 3-4 times. Well, I thought I was dead.
Ooh.
And after that, I said, only for I have to come back to Ireland, I'd have never got back on a plane again.
Well, you'd have driven home if you could.
I'd have walked.
Well, now, and I saw it tonight coming into work, yeah, to see a plane coming out of nowhere. Now, I mean literally out of nowhere.
Well, it didn't come out of the sky yet.
Yeah, but you couldn't see it. And out of nowhere, and there it was on the runway. It was just... I have to give them 10 out of 10. Like, as a pilot, you have to be shitting a brick doing that.
Yeah, in fact that's what the pilot says when he goes on the intercom. He says, "Fasten your seatbelts, I'm shitting a brick." That's what he says.
Well, you wonder.
Yeah.
He has to be.
All he told us was, about 5 minutes beforehand, he said, if we don't go into Burgas Airport, I'm going to attempt to land. Well, all I did was prayed, and we hit the runway.
With such... Oh, you...
Down, and all I said was... And I'm afraid me, like, I said, sweet Jesus, get me off this plane.
Oh.
The sweat teamed down me, and I said, only for me to come back again, I wouldn't...
Well, I have to be honest with you, the sweat teamed out of me just looking at a plane landing in Dublin tonight.
Well, I have to give them 100 out of 100.
Oh, yeah. Big time, yeah. Round of applause for pilots who land in fog. Well done, lads.
Well done, lads. Here, Dolores, you want to hear a filthy joke about fog?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, how are you on dirty jokes?
Oh, I'm excellent.
No, but I mean, am I gonna get complaints if I tell this joke?
Oh, no, you're not.
Because it's pretty manky.
That's okay, I've heard worse.
It has the word pussy in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really?
Go on.
Really?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, God. Okay, what's the difference between eating pussy and driving in fog?
I don't know.
When you're driving in fog, you can't see the arsehole in front of you.
That's a clean one.
What? That's not clean.
That's a clean one.
Really? Jesus.
Jeez, I'd hate to hear a dirty joke.
Holy mother of...
I'd hate to be around in your gaff, Dolores.
Compared to the one that I've heard.
The filth in your house. Degradation, girl.
I'm going to get sacked over that joke.
It's not in the house now.
Do you not think that joke is filthy?
Well, a little bit.
Now, would you find somebody like Roy Chubby Brown funny?
Not really, no.
Now, he's filthy.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
He's manky. Actually, he's on. When's he on? This weekend, is it?
Why, did you not think that joke was filthy?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was. That made me blush.
Did it?
Dolores, I love women like you who can take it. The joke, Dolores.
That's what I was thinking, the joke.
Yeah. Do you remember that movie back in the day about the fog, the horror movie?
I do indeed.
What was it called?
It was actually called The Fog.
Nah, it couldn't have been. That's too obvious.
No, it was called The Fog.
No, it couldn't have been called The Fog.
Called The Fog.
Couldn't have been.
Yeah, well,
The woman said it's called The Fog. It's called The Fog.
it's called The Fog.
Okay, thanks, Dolores.
Thanks, Dolores. Love you, lads. Bye.
I'm going to get in trouble over that joke.
I hope so, yeah.
Really?
I hope you do. Serves you right. After
Why?
all these years, just your smut and innuendo. Serves you right if you get into trouble.
Everybody loves a dirty joke. Tell me a dirty joke.
No, I wouldn't dare.
What?
I wouldn't step over those boundaries.
Yeah, we're probably going to have people from the ISPCA.
ISPCA?
The Irish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Why would they be on to us about that?
Because I'm talking about eating pussies.
Oh, yeah. Not
How are we going to deal with that one?
Don't know.
What was the movie called about the fog, Adrian?
Audie!
Yeah.
Is that your name, Audie?
Yeah.
Here, Audie! Can I say something to you?
Yeah.
Vorsprung technique.
Yeah. Quality.
Like he's never heard that before.
He probably hasn't. This is
I'm sure he has.
No, I have heard it plenty of times.
Yeah, of course he
Audie!
Yeah.
Das Autos.
No, that's a different car.
What car is that?
That's Volkswagen, I think. Is it? Das Autos.
No, I don't
It
think.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Audi is Vorsprung technique, isn't
Here,
it?
Audie, did you like me joke about driving in the fog?
I did, yeah.
Wasn't it hilarious?
Filthy.
Everybody
Anyway,
loves a
what
filthy
was the
joke.
movie about the fog?
The film was called The Mist.
Well, why was it not called the fog?
It was called The Mist. It was about people being trapped in a shopping centre.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis was in the movie, wasn't she?
That's right, yeah.
And she was being chased by the fog.
No.
No, you're making shit up now.
Sorry?
He's making stuff up now.
No, there was a woman, there was... the people were trapped in a shopping centre.
Yeah, and with the fog came death.
That's right, yeah.
That was the premise of the movie.
Oh, I see.
How did they pitch that to the executives in Hollywood? How did someone go into into Warner Brothers and go, I want to make a movie about a fog that kills people.
But how did they make a movie about a lady garden that eats people?
What?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Remember that one we talked about a few weeks ago? The teeth.
Oh yeah, Audie, what's that movie called about the woman whose lady garden has teeth on it?
Fucking...
The teeth or something.
Oh, it's called Teeth, isn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, so the film is called The Mist, and they're trapped in a shopping centre.
In a shopping centre, yeah. That was 10 years ago it was released.
And in comes the fog and kills them all.
Was it out about 10 years ago?
It was out about 10 years ago.
That will make sense because the movie was 15s and I remember I was 14 at the time. And I snuck into the cinema.
Really? Yeah, okay, we go with that. Yeah,
we go with that.
Thanks, Audie.
No problem.
Bye.
So what's the movie called?
The Mist.
With Jamie Lee Curtis.
About the fog. Or was it about a mist? Well, mist and fog.
No, I think if you ask a weatherman, Adrian, mist contains a lot more moisture than a fog.
Who gives a rat's arse?
You want to know the difference between mist and fog?
Who cares? Nobody cares.
Just saying the difference between mist and fog.
AJ!
What's the crack, Adrian?
I'll be with you straight after the break.
Yeah, kill no bother, buddy.
Would you just do us a favour, AJ?
What, Jeremy?
Would you make sure the story is only about 2 minutes long?
Yeah, no problem.
Giggity, giggity.
Giggity, giggity.
Back in just one moment.
FM104's Get It Off Your Chest.
With Adrian and Jeremy.
Waking up Dublin. Is there something bugging you? Or something you've always wanted to know? Whatever it is, just get it off your chest.
Call us now on 6797 FM 104.
This is
The FM 104 Phone Show.
And ladies and gentlemen, the award for the most patient caller to the phone show ever in the history of the show goes to Robbie.
Robbie, you've been on hold hours. I'm sorry, the lines are they're jammed tonight with thousands of calls. Well, not thousands of calls.
Not to worry.
But we apologise for keeping you waiting so long. Now, Robbie, what's up? What do you want to get off your chest?
Lads, I've a bit of a hang-up, right? And I'll just give you a brief story there, briefly, okay? My girlfriend was on the bus on the way home from work yesterday, and some methadone patient was sitting on the bus and started chatting to her, and started saying to her, oh yeah, I'm on the methadone so long. I get 50 a day, whatever that means. And
50 mils, I imagine.
50 mils, I imagine, yeah. And I only take 30, and I keep 20 and sell it at the end of the week, and just to get cans.
Oh.
It's kind of annoying me a bit, like, you know what I mean? Because I was on to you before, remember that the tax man was taking all my dough,
Yeah.
So what I was thinking was, would it not be a better idea, maybe I hope someone from the government's listening to this now, that if they got, like, say, trained up some people and got some kind of premises and made all these people go cold turkey.
Oh, just lock them all up.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Robbie. Put them in. Put all the junkies.
It's a hard way of saying it. But
No. Put all the junkies in a padded cell. Let them go cold turkey.
Lads,
No,
seriously.
I'm trying to avoid saying it that way, but...
No, don't avoid. You're on the phone show here. We don't pull punches here. Put them all in a padded cell. Make them go cold turkey. How's your father? Fanny's your aunt. Bobby's your uncle.
You can't. That's here, lads.
And we take
all well and good in theory, but that's Hitler stuff. You can't.
I don't think Hitler had a problem with junkies, Adrian.
He may have had.
I don't think there was a junkie.
They want to get off the drugs, you know what I mean? And they're on methadone because they want to get off it.
And by the way, Robbie, that methadone that the junkies are taking, that's
paying for, yeah.
That's coming out of your pocket. Well done.
Absolutely, yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out of your pocket.
Yeah.
And these are the same junkies.
Mad.
These are the same junkies that had robbed the mobile phone out of your hand just to get the next fix.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I've had a syringe pulled me about one of them.
You see, Robbie, like I said, I mean, it all sounds great in theory, but you can't just involuntarily put people in padded cells.
Why can't you?
Because you don't have to involuntary, like, you know what I mean? If you want methadone, if you want to get clean, okay, well, don't take the methadone. We have another method for you, and in 6 months' time, you have brand new shampoo and back to the normal way of living.
No, and I know people, I've spoken to people on the show before who did go cold turkey and say it was the best way to get off the stuff and whatever, and fair play to them, but different strokes for different folks.
It's all mindset though, isn't it? It's all willpower and stuff, do you know what I mean?
Some people are able to give up cigarettes just cold turkey, other people give them up with patches and all that.
Or if you're Adrian, you don't give them up at all.
Yeah, whatever.
You just don't give them up at all.
Yeah, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? It's different strokes for different folks.
It is, but would it save a fortune to the exchequer?
Yeah, might, yeah.
That breaks my...
You know what I mean? It'd save us a fortune, like the country's in a hellhole of a mess. But yet they're still getting their stuff, and as your man was saying...
And the thing about it is, Robbie, as well, the junkies, they only have themselves to blame for their addiction.
You're correct there.
Nobody else is to blame for their addiction.
But there's only us that'll pick up the pieces for them.
Oh no, should they blame you? They blame me. They blame I grew
lads,
up. I grew up in a bad area.
Can I just say to both of you, yeah?
But not really. I mean, I seen on your Facebook earlier on that you're on about like I know it's probably going to be a topic you're bringing up later on, but back to the homelessness and all that. I'm sure that's interlinked somewhere with certain people. You know what I mean? You know, they went on the smack. They lost their house. They lost their family. They lost their job.
You know what, Robbie? We need people like you running the government.
Well, I tell you who we certainly don't need is the people that sitting above there at the minute.
Yeah, haven't got a clue.
Lads. Can I just say?
Yeah.
I'm going to come across both of you.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for a smile on my face, and I am not in the mood for heavy-duty, hardcore discussions.
Will you do me one favour?
Yeah.
One favour before you go.
Okay.
One favour before you go.
What?
Ring that one there.
Who?
Just ring that, please. Go on. Just hang on, Robbie, while you get it out of this.
No.
All right.
We have the armchair terrorists now texting us in over our views about you. While you hear this fool won't even answer the phone now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see, all mouth on the text. What do you see? No, hung up. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You haven't even got a voicemail. That's how much you can shake
all that
that
jelly and no toast, what?
Yeah, absolutely. I won't even read out what the text says, but
I wouldn't dignify him. I wouldn't give him.
No, that's an absolute loser, that is.
Yeah, loop stuff. He's probably sitting at home there on the methadone to go paying for him.
No, you're right, Robbie. Padded cells, cold turkey.
Okay, lads, can we move on? Thanks, Robbie.
Robbie.
Thanks. Seriously, can we go back to talking about funny stuff that's going on? Put a smile on my face tonight, Dixon, will you? You get paid a bloody fortune.
Put you in a padded cell.
No, you get paid a fortune to put a smile on my face every night of the week, and some nights you let me down. I want to smile. Make me smile. Come up and see me, Jeremy, and make me smile.
What are you talking about? I'm going to come up and see you. I'm sitting beside you.
Right, make me smile.
I told a classic joke earlier on about what's the difference between eating and doing that thing. That was a classic joke.
It wasn't good enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you want filthier than that?
When you come in here, come and see me, make me smile.
That's not what I get paid to do.
It is what you get paid to do. Section 23.3 of your contract. Make Kennedy smile regularly.
I ripped up my contract.
Really?
Yeah, when I saw that bit, make Kennedy smile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not good, is it?
I've always said about you, Adrian, you're a very hard man to please.
I am, yeah.
If you had one woman on each testicle, you still wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, probably
You'd be like,
not, yeah.
Why are they neglecting me penis? Why are they doing that? Too far. It's true, though. It's too far, though. It's true, though. Isn't it, though? Adrian, one woman on each ball. For God's sake, girls, can you not do better than that? You're a very difficult man to please, Adrian.
Well, try and please me.
What type of joke do you want? You want jokes? I'll give you jokes.
Yeah, make me smile.
Give me a subject and I'll tell you.
I don't want serious stuff about drug addicts. No, I'm just done with it.
Really?
Yeah. I've had enough.
But the listeners decide what we talk about at this point of the show.
Yeah, right. I've had enough.
What?
Put a smile on my face, Dixon.
Give me a subject and I'll give you a joke.
Just make me smile.
Here, AJ will make you smile there.
AJ, make me smile, will you?
I'll make you smile.
Yeah.
Hang on, lads.
Giggity.
Lads, seriously, that's not making me smile. That's making me sympathetic.
Adrian, just chill out, right? Look forward to your Saturday breakfast, yeah, and your mother-in-law, right?
Love it, yeah.
I haven't had a bacon sandwich.
Adrian, do you eat in your mother-in-law's on a Saturday morning?
Every Saturday morning,
Does your missus have a problem with that?
What?
Does your missus have a problem with that?
No, she's with me.
That's very cosy, isn't it, AJ?
It is, yeah.
Adrian eating his mother-in-law on a Saturday morning.
With
your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, AJ, go on.
Right, listen, lads, right, now, I'm going to tell you a story, yeah? Now, you're talking about fog, and people who are terrified, the phobia is all about this motherfucking bullshit, yeah? But listen, I'm going to try and keep it under 120 seconds, right? So, before I lost the ice, a lot of bollocks here. About 7 years ago, I went to a place and it's called Man of War or something. There was like a mad Harley Davidson nightclub.
Oh yeah, Man of War is this village in the middle of North County Dublin that I've always seen signs for, but I've never been to it.
Yeah, well,
have you ever heard of it, Adrian? It's called Man of War.
Man of War, yeah.
Man of War, yeah.
Yeah, well, Adrian, I was in it once, right? Only once, right? And then, like, you know, as usual, there's always one asshole, and that's usually me, right? So we started fighting someone, and all of a sudden, the Harley Davidson biker crew threw me out, right? And so I got kicked out of that kip. Anyway, so I had to walk back to Coolock. Now, I don't know how many miles it is about.
So you walked from Man of War to Coolock?
Yeah, and it's about...
That's some bloody walk.
3.5 hours. Yeah? I didn't even know where I was going, yeah? But I walked into two people's bungalows right and asked them, can I use the phone? And they kicked me out there. So I was like, what the fuck?
Sorry, can I ask you, AJ, I have to ask this question. You're a blind man now, yeah?
He wasn't blind at the time.
Was this before you went blind?
Yeah, this is before I went blind.
Oh, that's all right, guys.
How can he walk from
I
Man
had
of
this
War?
image of a blind man walking from Man of War to Coolock.
It would have taken him a lot longer than 3 hours.
Listen, Adrian, what I'm trying to say, Jeremy, yeah, is like, before these Harley Davidson bullies, right, just dragged me out, none of them hit me a dig, right, because I was throwing the shapes all over the shop.
Well, you get to the story of you're walking down the road from Man of War to Coolock. What happens?
Yeah, eventually what happened, Jeremy, right, I went into two bungalows, they wouldn't let me use the phone, so I said, you know what, I was on a back lane, I didn't know where, I was in the country, and then all of a sudden I said, you know what, I lay me ass on a lump of green grass at the side of the road, and I fell asleep, right, and this one talks about the fog.
Okay, this is where the fog comes into it, okay.
Yeah, do you know what happened?
What?
I woke up the next day totally naked, all I had was one odd sock on. Right, all I had was one odd sock. I had no...
I'm struggling, Jeremy, I'm struggling here.
I know.
I had no boxer shorts, I hadn't even got a jumper, I hadn't all my...
Jeez, that sounds like a great night.
AJ, can I ask you?
My passport was robbed, all I was wearing was one sock.
How does this shit happen to you?
I don't know, man. I was kicked out by a load of Harley Davidson fellas who they looked like they were returned from World War II with a load of Nazi helmets on them. That's why they call the Harley Davidson crew, you know?
Yeah, the only man I know, Agent, that can go in a night out and bump into neo-Nazi Harley Davidson drivers. Good luck! Bye!
Bye.
Bye. That story may or may not have happened.
May or may not
Can I just
have
say,
happened, yeah.
Can I just say?
Of course you can, yeah.
Okay, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, we won't be reading out that joke.
Yeah, John, I do like your style, though. I like your joke, John, but no, that will not be read out on Dublin's FM 104.
Are you eating out your mother-in-law this Saturday? No.
What?
Are you eating out your mother-in-law this Saturday?
Are we going for breakfast, you mean?
Yeah, you eating out with your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Sorry?
Where are you going?
What do you mean, where am I going?
Where are you eating out with your mother-in-law?
In Hargaff.
No, that's not eating out.
What?
That's not eating out.
I never said I was eating out.
Oh, you're eating in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can anybody let me know, by the way, on 53104? That's our text line number, by the way, just in case you don't know, 53104. Can anybody text me and let me know, where does the best Irish breakfast in Dublin?
Yeah, my mother-in-law, Saturday morning.
Well, I'm not going around to your mother-in-law's. Don't like the woman. No, don't like the woman.
How do you know?
I just know. I just know. Anyone that accepts you as a son-in-law doesn't have great taste. So.
Really?
Yeah. And I heard she does black pudding as well.
No black, no.
Oh, well then I might come over
Yeah,
now.
no black at all,
Black pudding is the food of the devil.
And
the food of the devil.
Not only no black pudding, yeah?
Yeah.
A choice of white pudding. Yeah?
Yeah.
Barley pudding.
Yeah.
Or smooth pudding.
Does she do mushrooms though? Don't like mushrooms.
No. Beans, eggs, sausages,
She doesn't
rashers.
do half a tomato, does she?
No.
Fry-ups should not have tomatoes in them. 53104, can you please text me, put your name on it, and let me know. I haven't had a fry-up in about 2 years.
Fair play to you.
Because...
Say you're missing them though. There's nothing nicer, seriously.
You've no idea. I really want to fry up.
Saturday morning, as soon as I wake up, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't even have a cup of tea. I save myself for my mother-in-law.
I know. But what?
I save myself for my mother-in-law's.
What age is she?
Huh?
What age is your mother-in-law?
Mature.
By the way, can I say one thing to you?
Yeah.
You don't have a mother-in-law, you're divorced.
Whatever.
By the very nature of being divorced, you can't have a mother-in-law. That's one of the bonuses of getting a divorce.
Oh, really?
You no longer have a mother-in-law.
Okay, a mother-in-law by proxy, let's call her.
She's proxy.
By proxy.
53104. Text us in. Where is the? I'm gonna go out this Saturday, and I'm gonna have a fry-up, and I want to know where the best place. And I mean, I don't want just 2 rashers and a sausage agent and 1 piece of toast. I want the works.
The works.
I want the beans.
Yeah, lovely. Yep.
I want hash.
Yep.
Love the hash browns.
Yeah, no, so do I. Yep.
I want white pudding.
Yep.
I don't want black pudding.
No.
Food of the devil, that is.
Yeah. Sausages.
Sausages.
Rashers. Beans.
French toast even, maybe.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
French toast.
Jeez, you're really going all out here.
53104, let me know. And more importantly, let me know, can I get it for free?
And you have to have beautiful Clark's bread.
Clark's bread? Yeah, and I don't want to pay for it because I'm a celebrity. I shouldn't have to pay for breakfast when I go out.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you become a celebrity? Noel and Fiona, I'll be with you in a sec.
Get it off your chest with Adrian and Jeremy on FM 104.
Call 6797 FM 104.
Now, it's time to play FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop.
With multitrip.com, Ireland's favourite travel insurance.
Do you want me to call you in just a while for FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop? Well, get your text into me right now. FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop is the coolest prize on Irish radio at the moment. You and a friend will rock in Dublin with Bruno Mars, you'll shop in Dubai with 5,000 dirham, and you'll drop beneath the surface of the ocean and swim with a shark in Sydney, Australia, and get $2,000 spending money. It's a lovely prize. Oh, and by the way, all your flights are business class with Emirates. All your hotels are 5-star hotels. Look at you. But if you want to win that prize, you got to text me right now. I'm going to be calling back a qualifier in about 10-15 minutes. Okay, about 15 minutes from now. If you want to be that person, here's what you do. You send me a text and you start your text, please, with the word rock. And then your name and location and send it to 53104. Please start your text with the word rock. And then your name and location and send it to 53104. Text costs 20 cents. You can enter as often as you like, bearing in mind that 20-cent charge. And it could be you that I'm calling with the 3 questions for FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop. Start your text, please, with the word rock. Then your name, age and location. And get it over to us right now. 53104 is our number. Thanks very much. Now let's get it off your chest with AK and JD, and if there's something on your mind you'd like to get off your chest, you can call us right now on 6797104. Now,
okay, a lot of text head.
Okay,
a lot of text.
We were talking about the best breakfast, the best greasy spoon breakfast, yeah? And I'm praising my mother-in-law Teresa. She makes the best breakfast in Ireland.
Really?
Next to me, Mrs. who makes a nicer breakfast.
Oh, you're such a licker.
But she doesn't make it often enough.
You really are such a licker.
So every Saturday...
I'm just throwing it out here, Kennedy, while your missus maybe doesn't cook a fry up.
Why is that?
Because you're a fat bastard.
Oh!
And she doesn't want you to be any more fat.
Oh, stick it in, why don't you?
Okay, 53104, make sure you stick your name on it. We're looking for the best place to eat a fry up. I'm going to have my first fry up. And I'll take a photograph of it on Saturday and I'll tweet it and all to all my,
brilliant.
Can't wait. Followers.
Can't wait, yeah.
Just to prove. But I am having a fry up this Saturday. The first fry up in 2 years. The coffee pot in Balbriggan, says Shane. What's that like, Adrian?
I don't know.
Have you ever eaten out in Balbriggan?
Can't talk about that now, if you don't mind. So moving on, go on.
No? Yeah.
The Hungry Monkey in Mulhuddart is lovely, says Nicola.
Okay.
Me Nana's is the best for breakfast, says Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan, we can't all arrive at your Nana's.
I'm going to call around to some Elwyn's house now. Linda says, oh yeah, the Kingfisher in Parnell Street, says Linda.
Oh, sounds nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt the Rashers in Sundrive, says Kira.
The Scullery in Bray.
Clark's in Cabra, yeah?
Yeah, where's Clark's?
Clark's in Cabra, savage spot.
Really?
Yeah, it really is.
And does Jeremy Dixon, is he welcome in Cabra?
I wouldn't think so. I'd avoid it if I were you. You'd probably get run out of the place. Keely's beside the airport is meant to be good. How can you say it's meant to be good?
It's either good or it's not good.
That's no recommendation for a place.
It's meant to be good.
Now, I've had dinner in Keely's, and it's lovely, but I've never had a breakfast there.
Yeah. Joe says you should try me wife. You should try me wife's hanging rashers.
Really?
Jesus, Joe, that's a terrible thing to say about your wife.
Who hangs the rashers?
No, he's saying his wife has a pair of hanging rashers.
What does that mean?
Thanks for your text, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
He said his wife has a pair of hanging rashers.
The Scullery in Bray.
Get a pair of I
don't want to know. I just don't want to know. The Scullery in Bray. Now, I've eaten there on many occasions, yeah? It's just on the Dublin Road as you're coming into Bray, on the right-hand side, and it's savage. Lovely, lovely, lovely brekkie.
The only problem is none of these places are near me. None of them are near Leopardstown. Oh, here's one. Rob says Franco's and Dundrum do a fry-up.
Okay, yeah.
I want it greasy now, Adrian.
Oh, the Galway Hooker in Euston Station, yeah. Meant to do a great brekkie.
I'm not eating out of a Galway hooker.
What?
I'm not eating out of a Galway hooker.
Again.
Again.
The Chuck Wagon at Blake's Cross.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chuck Wagon beside Blake's Cross.
Liza says the Kylemore Cafes.
Yeah, any of the Kylemore Cafes.
Oh, okay.
They do a great ale brekkie,
Okay, so I have a bit of choice.
Okay, yep.
Oh, sorry, would you go to Mark there? Mark.
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 How
you doing, lad?
Best place in Dublin for a brekkie?
Well, he's mentioned already, one of the Texas texted in, Matt the Rashers on Sun Drive.
Now, whereabouts is that?
It's on the Sun Drive Road across from Silverquin.
Right.
Gorgeous.
Matt the Rashers.
Matt the Rashers in Crumlin.
Sounds lovely.
Very nice.
And what are we talking
I
about?
don't know if that's a bit beneath Jeremy now.
Here, any sort of a bloody fry-up is beneath Jeremy.
I know, I have to be honest with you, Mark. I find fry-ups very working class.
Come here, look, we don't eat them. I have them once a week. I'd have a fry.
So do I, every Saturday.
They are the food of the working man.
You are the tosser of the radio station.
They are the food of the working man.
Oh, seriously, man.
Here,
Jeremy.
Can I compliment on your joke?
Yeah, which joke?
The fog.
It was funny though, wasn't it?
It's very funny.
Will I tell it again? Because
No, you won't tell it again. It was rude. It was distasteful. It was in breach of Section 23 of the Broadcasting Code.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, don't say it again.
What you call a snail with no shell?
I don't want to know.
What do you call a snail?
Don't want to know.
It's homeless.
What's wrong with that?
I don't want to know what you call a snail with no shell.
Homeless, probably.
What?
Homeless.
Oh, is that the answer?
I'd imagine it is.
Is that the answer? Yeah, homeless.
Yeah, bad, isn't it?
I thought it was going somewhere else. No, thank God for that. All right, good luck.
Here, can I tell the joke about driving in the fog again?
No.
But why? I've already got into trouble for telling it once. So,
yeah, but if you say it again, you'll get sacked.
So anyway, here's the joke. Oh no, I don't need to get sacked.
No, you don't. No.
Otherwise, how would I pay for me fry-up on Saturday? So where am I going?
I think your best bet is to come to my mother-in-law's with me on Saturday.
To come on your mother-in-law on Saturday?
Yeah, to come into my mother-in-law's on Saturday and have a lovely fry-up. All welcome.
Really?
Well, I better ask her. She doesn't really like you.
Jesus, why? How did
she doesn't like you.
She's never met me. Normally it takes people a couple of meetings before they dislike me.
No. People here. Half our listeners dislike you if they've never met you. Just saying.
Can I ask a question about your mother's fry-up or your mother-in-law's fry-up?
Yeah.
Who isn't actually your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But there you go. Does she do them on the pan or does she do them on the grill?
Both, actually.
Yeah, see,
both.
I like it on the grill.
Yeah. All the rashers and sausages on the grill. Yeah.
Okay, so none in fat. I don't like them cooked.
Well, eggs obviously on the frying pan.
Yeah, eggs on the frying pan.
Yeah.
Sunny side up the eggs.
Yeah.
Looks like I'll be eating out your mother-in-law this weekend.
Okay, let's go to...
Did you ask her?
Well, obviously I'd have to ask her. Danielle.
Hi.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
You know who I am?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, this is going to be toe talks.
This is always toe talks.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Are you Danielle Johnson?
Yeah.
She's stalking me on Twitter there, Adrian. Look, the amount of tweets.
Oh, really?
Jesus Christ.
I was getting impatient on the line.
Now, what do you want to say about fry-ups?
Yeah, I was just saying you should turn vegetarian.
Why?
Oh, no, are we going down this road again tonight?
Yeah.
Why should I turn vegetarian?
I don't know, we had this talk last night.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road again tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, you can, believe it or not, Danielle, you can actually buy vegetarian sausages.
Yeah, I know, but they're rotten.
Why, what's in them if they're veggie sausages?
Corn.
You what?
It's corn.
Corn?
Q-U-O-R-N or something.
No, but that's yeah, but what's actually in a vegetarian sausage?
It's like corn or something.
Yeah, but what's in it? Adrian, what's in the veggie sausage?
It's corn.
Corn.
No, that's
Q-O-R-N or whatever it is.
Lads, that's the make of it.
Who knows? It's shite.
So
it's not a bloody sausage.
Danielle, how old are you?
16.
And how long have you been a vegetarian?
I've been a vegetarian for about 400 days now.
400 days?
To be precise about it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you miss the most?
Nothing.
I don't believe that. I don't believe you.
No, you see, when I first became a vegetarian...
All those years ago, 400 days ago, yeah?
No, I miss jellies. So, like, I eat jellies.
Jellies?
Yeah, because they're, like, not suitable for vegetarians, but I actually eat them.
Sorry, would you tell that woman, Adrian, that you can eat jellies if you're a vegetarian?
No, you can't, because there's gelatin in them.
Yeah, gelatin, yeah.
Oh, really? Can you not?
Yeah.
So you can't eat, you couldn't eat like a wine gum?
No, I can't.
What?
Yeah, I can. I can't eat cheesecake either.
I think you can eat cheesecake if you're a vegetarian.
No,
I think you can.
I can't.
Adrian, will you
Why can't you eat cheesecake?
Jeremy.
Yes.
Oh, because there's gelatin in it.
In cheesecake?
Yeah, I swear to God.
Yeah, you
I've
put
made one before.
So you're getting veganism mixed up with
vegetarianism.
I'm not. Oh, actually, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I think. Are you a vegan or a vegetarian?
No, I told you this last night. I'm going to be half a vegan.
Do you know who's a vegan, by the way?
Who? Connor.
Oh, listen, can we not talk? This is deja vu.
You know who else?
Connor will be on the line in a second. He'll be slamming down the phone.
Okay, bye, Danielle. Bye. You know
I don't want to talk about it.
You know who's a famous vegan?
Who?
The most famous vegan of all time.
No.
One of the Beatles. Guess who it was?
One of the Beatles?
One of the Beatles. He's still alive.
Yeah.
And he's
that's only one of two then, because two of them are dead.
Who is it?
Huh? Ringo.
Ringo Starr is a vegan.
Yeah, I thought that.
He doesn't wear leather shoes.
Right.
He doesn't have leather couch in his house. By the way, Ringo, if you're listening, yeah, how does it feel to be the worst member of the Beatles? That man must carry an awful chip on his shoulder. He was in the Beatles, yeah?
Yeah.
And he had no talent. Like nobody ever got excited about Ringo.
It's like Shane out of Boyzone. Is that his name?
It's like all of them out of Boyzone, to be honest.
Your man out of Boyzone. You know your man with all the tattoos. What's his name?
Mikey Graham.
No, the other fella. That you don't know his name. That fella.
Keith Duffy.
No.
In fairness, what did Keith Duffy do in Boyzone?
Well, he looks pretty. No, the other fella who's nothing going for him at all.
Shane Lynch.
Shane Lynch, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, what was his point in that band?
The same as Ringo.
So Shane equals Ringo?
Shane is Ringo. Every band has a Ringo Starr. Name a band, I'll tell you who the Ringo Starr is. Westlife, Nicky Byrne.
Was it not Kane? I think it was Kane.
It was Kane, yeah, it was Kane. Okay,
Yeah,
go on, give me another band.
One Erection.
Your man who I can never pronounce his name and nobody knows who he is. Zayan, is that his name? Or Zainab, or what's that fella's name?
Yeah, him.
It begins with a Z, whoever he is. What's his name?
Yeah, or Louis.
Louis does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Give me another band.
Oasis.
Oasis, pretty much Liam Gallagher.
Oh,
that was Noel's gig completely. Liam did Shag All.
Okay.
Go on, give me another band.
The Spice Girls.
Your woman.
Who?
Chisholm.
Mel C.
Mel C. Waste of space.
Right, okay. That's grand. It's good to know. 6797104 is our telephone number. Noel.
How's it going?
How are you, Noel? What do you want to say?
I'm not a very happy bunny with Jeremy.
Oh, what's new? Yeah, go on.
What did I do?
What did you do? You slagged off homeless people there.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I'm homeless, and I'm not addicted to any drugs or anything like that.
Here, no, first of all, slow.
And you basically made a statement there a few minutes ago, well, sorry, about half an hour ago at this stage, to say that pretty much every homeless person is on methadone or either.
No, he never said that.
Never said that.
No, I can testify to that. He never said that.
He didn't say it, but he basically...
Well, hang on, Noel. I either said it. Noel, I either said it or I didn't say it.
You employed it.
I implied it. What is it?
Well, no, he didn't say it. I'm telling you, he didn't say it.
No, he didn't say it, but he
didn't say it. Yeah.
He employed it, though.
But did I say it?
You employed it.
How can you employ something?
How can you, by agreeing with somebody agreeing with something that somebody said?
No, all I said was that that heroin addicts who are on methadone should be put into dry out rooms where they can go cold turkey.
And the person that said about the people on methadone, he basically said that most of them are homeless, and you agreed with him.
Did I, Adrian?
Well, not that I remember, but maybe you did. All right, thanks, Noel. Can you do me a favour? Will you just not open your bloody mouth in future? Would that be possible? Just keep your trap shut.
Okay, here's one. Who was the waste of space in Take That?
Oh, your man.
Who was the weak link?
Your man Orange, or whatever his name was.
Jason Orange.
Yeah, him. Definitely.
Okay.
Who is he like?
Who was the weakest link in the Backstreet Boys?
Oh, I couldn't even...
AJ.
Oh, yeah, AJ, yeah. I have to take a break?
Who was the weak link in NSYNC?
All of them except Justin.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Back in a sec.
Driving Dublin home.
The Jam.
FM104. Now it's time to play FM104's Rock, Shop and Drop.
With multitrip.com, Ireland's favourite travel insurance.
Yes, this is coming rapidly to a close, so if you want to be in with a chance of being a qualifier for our final on Friday, make sure you're listening all day tomorrow to FM 104. It's FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop. Great prize. Rocking in Dublin with Bruno Mars, shopping in Dubai, and then dropping below the surface at Sydney, Australia, where you'll swim with a shark. We give you 5,000 dirham in Dubai. We give you $2,000 in Australia. Chris McLaughlin is in Killiney. You would love that prize, wouldn't you, Chris?
Absolutely, I do.
Oh, who wouldn't? You'd want to be insane not to want that prize. Now, Chris, here's the deal. I'm going to play you 3 questions.
Okay.
You have to listen very closely to them, and then I'm looking for 3 answers, and you have 10 seconds to give me the answers, okay?
Grant.
So listen very, very closely. Here comes FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop. Here we go.
Rock. Shop.
Amy Huberman designed a range of shoes for which brand?
Drop.
2 years ago I made the conscious decision to sort of slow down with that and move forward into other things.
10 seconds, off you go, Chris.
The Gorillas, Feeling Good Inc., Prada, and I have no clue, Agent. I hadn't a clue at all.
Oh, sorry about that, buddy. You got just one, and you know the one you got.
Yeah.
Well, give it a go again tomorrow. Competition is rapidly coming to an end. The final takes place on Friday, and somebody's going to win, so give it a go again tomorrow.
Thanks, okay.
Fair play to you. Thanks very much indeed. Chris McLaughlin from Killiney, the final contestant for today on FM 104's Rock, Shop and Drop. Somebody is going to win that prize. Could be you. Make sure you're here with the Strawberry Alarm Clock tomorrow morning here on Dublin's FM 104. Here we go.
Got something you want to say?
It's Get It Off Your Chest with Adrian and Jeremy on FM 104.
Yes, indeed it is.
Greg and Navin, seriously, move on from it, Greg. Move on.
Drop it.
Let it go.
Let it go, Greg.
Let it pass. It's not happening, Greg. Deal with it. There's bigger issues in your life, I'm sure.
And there's bigger in ours.
Yeah, just deal with it.
Okay, sorry about that, Greg. Sorry, Greg, sorry. Greg,
is it really going to affect your life?
That's going to affect Greg's life.
Okay,
I won't even be in the country, just saying hashtag and all that.
Don't hashtag sentences. I was putting up on my Twitter page about this thing. We're trying to find the weak link in every band, yeah?
Yeah.
And here's a few coming in. In the Black Eyed Peas,
yeah.
The other 2 that nobody could remember their names.
Other than Fergie and William.
Yeah.
After that, who are they?
Who are they?
Yeah. Although one of them sings a lot, but I couldn't tell you his name.
A lot of people are saying Keith Duffy and Boyzone. That's not fair.
No. At least Keith made something of himself. He's in Coronation Street and all that, yeah?
Keith hasn't been in Coronation
Street. The other fella, all he does all day, every day is sit in tattoo parlours.
He does have a lot of tattoos.
He does, that's all he does.
And the vote is going for Keane in Westlife. He was the weakest.
He was, yeah. He was, not Nicky.
What?
Nicky's got a bit of talent.
Really?
Yeah, he did that brilliant television show. The one that was on a few weeks ago. I know the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
No.
He did anyway. He did an amazing television show, yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
What was it called?
It was called, where people come on and... They had songs and stuff.
Nobody cares. Songs. Sing us a song. I don't know. Nobody cares. Move on.
Yeah.
Anyway, Greg and Navin, move on with your text. Move on.
Yes, Greg, time to drop it.
Yeah, let it go, Greg. Move on with life. Draw a line underneath this and then move
line
on.
in the sand, Greg. Oh, yeah, okay, right. No. Somebody says... Who says? Jude says, Ronan Keating, God bless.
No, Ronan's
the main man.
Yeah, I have to say, I won't have a bad word said about Ronan.
Yeah, Ronan was the main man in what was the band he was in?
Boyzone.
Oh, yeah, that. He was good.
But you look at NSYNC, Justin Timberlake.
There's nobody else.
There's nobody else. Sure there's not.
What did the other lads do?
Nothing.
Okay, any more suggestions?
Text us in 53104 with the name of the band and the weak link. Everybody else in Blur apart from Damon Albarn. What did they do?
They didn't do anything.
What did they do? It was Damon Albarn.
It was. And what about...
the black fella in S Club 7.
What was even his name?
I couldn't tell you.
And what about...
S Club 7.
Girls Aloud.
S Club. Girls Aloud. The weak link was the plain looking one.
The red-headed one.
Yeah, she was
Who was she? What's her name?
the red-headed plain-looking one. That was her name.
That was her name, all right. Yeah. Fiona!
Hello.
Hi, Fiona.
How are you?
Very well, thanks, Fiona.
We're getting back to the story about the fog.
The fog, yeah.
Come on, what happened?
I live in Waterford, and I worked in a restaurant in Clonmel, and the quickest way to get to it, which took about a half an hour, was to go over the Comera Mountains. But I had to go right over the top of them. So kind of 3 nights out of the week, the fog would be thick and dense, and the guy who I took over from told me a story about an old lady and 4 children that were seen walking through the Comera Mountains on foggy nights. So really, really scary.
And I have to say, I was down in Connemara last week, Fiona, Comaleshgale.
Good man, well done, yeah.
And
Cúpla focal.
I was down by, Killary Harbour.
No, I don't.
It's in Connemara, love.
Who cares?
Well, the Comera Mountains are in Waterford, love. They're in between Waterford and Tipperary.
Oh, well, then we're talking about a completely different part of the island.
The country.
Sorry about that. I thought you said... Oh, this is awkward.
The Comera Mountains.
I thought you said Connemara.
No, well, maybe I did in my text. Maybe that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I think it did. I think you made a fool of yourself.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, it's very difficult to drive in fog, isn't it?
It's
not if you're a good driver.
Extremely, but I used to have to drive at about 20 kilometres an hour.
And if you have to. Like tonight, if it's really, really foggy, I won't get home till 5 in the morning.
I know, but
I'm just saying that in case my missus listen and I don't get home till 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was the fog.
Okay, it was the fog. Just saying.
It was the fog. But the foggy nights, I swear to God, an hour and a half it'd take me to get home. In a journey that would take on average between 30 and 45 minutes. Really, really scary. Now, I could have gone another route that wouldn't have, but if I had gone that way, it would have taken me 2.5 hours to get home.
Oh my God.
So...
It's a mad world out there. Just be careful.
I am.
Just drive safe, okay?
I am.
FM104 condones safe driving in the fog. Use your fog lights at all times.
Your fog lights, especially the ones at the front.
Absolutely.
But then when the fog is so dense, it just blinds you when you have your fog lights on.
It's only a bit of fog!
Yeah, but it's scary.
It's not scary, it's a bit of fog!
It's going to come out.
Oh,
Jesus, come
seriously.
down.
What's here? Hang on for 1 second.
Here, Fiona.
Sorry.
Wow.
We're talking about the weakest link in bands, yeah?
In bands, yeah.
Your man out of the Pet Shop Boys, he did nothing.
Which one?
The fella that didn't sing. He did nothing.
If you think about it, right, go back to the olden days, Def Leppard.
Who are Def Leppard?
You don't know who Def Leppard are?
Never heard of them. Who are they?
Oh my God. Joe Elliott was their lead singer.
Joe who?
Joe Elliott. How old are you?
I'm only 25.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's well before mine.
Well, then you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Sorry, you said the band is called Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. Seriously, you don't know who just Def Leppard are.
What song did they sing, love? What song did they sing?
One of them was Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Adrian, do you know what?
There we go. Okay, let's listen to this.
Pour Some Sugar on Me.
On me.
And this band is...
Have you ever heard of Def Leppard? Oh my God.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
You can fast forward it there. Seriously.
I don't like the sound of this.
Cut the crap out of it.
Oh no. No, don't like it.
I thought they were brilliant. You're saying the likes of Bon Jovi. Nobody but John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, there is. Seriously, can you name any other member of the band Bon Jovi?
Yeah, your man.
Who?
No, I can't remember him.
No. There you go.
Thanks, love.
You know what I mean.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye. Here, this is a good song, actually. You ready? Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Pour some sugar on me.
53104. Keep them coming in. It's called The Weakest Link. We're looking for the weakest link in pretty much any band that you could ever think of. Everybody in the Monkees, bar your man
Mickey DeLenz. No, Peter, what's his name? No, there was other...
Well, what was the name of the other fella in the Pet Shop Boys that did nothing?
Chris Lowe is his name.
Andrew Ridgely and Wham.
Yeah, what was his point? Seriously,
his point?
you should have just let him call himself George Michael and be done
what
with
was
it.
the point? Jeremy Dixon on the phone show.
Yeah.
What's the point? There's no point to me.
Alana texted in, all other members of the Pussycat Dolls bar Nicole Scherzinger.
All waste of space, Alana.
Seriously, they just were there to look pretty. Keep them coming in, 53104.
We're looking for your weakest link. So we're looking for the band name, and who the weakest link. Is.
Sam texted in, Sam, that wasn't pretending. Just saying. Sam will know what that text means. Yeah, there's Sam, yeah. That wasn't pretending, you see.
Oh,
you
Sam, seriously, would you... Oh.
Wasn't pretending. Where else?
Victoria Beckham in the Spice Girls.
She was the weakest link in the Spice Girls, wasn't she?
That woman didn't have a nose in her head.
No, and still doesn't.
What?
Still doesn't.
The only bit of talent Victoria Beckham ever had, yeah, was when David Beckham put his penis in her. That's the only bit of talent she's ever had in her body.
Obviously, yeah.
Would you agree?
You too, Larry Mullen. What's the point in Larry Mullen?
What does he do?
What does he do?
I believe he makes a lovely cup of tea for Bono and the boys. Makes a lovely cup of tea.
That's probably about the size of it.
Yes, he does.
Like, Larry, how did you get away with it all these years? And here's somebody who's just not getting this. Can I say the best solo artist is Gareth Brooks?
Oh, jeez.
You're just not getting it, are you?
No, you just go to bed.
Girls Aloud, Nicola Roberts, useless. This is Ian, Jen and Ballyfermot. That's the red-headed one, isn't it?
H and Steps.
Who was he? Why was he called H?
Yeah, who just calls himself a letter? Like, I've no problem with a singer just shortening their name down to one name.
Yeah.
Like Christina Aguilera is now called Christina.
Yeah, fine. Well done,
But H?
No. Everyone bar Chris Martin and Coldplay.
Yeah, I couldn't.
He is Coldplay.
Yeah. He was the rest of them, weakest links.
Okay, now...
you won't read that one out, Kennedy.
What?
Because it'll rock the boat. You won't read that text out.
Nikkei Byrne in Westlife.
Nikkei Byrne in Westlife.
Yeah, weakest link according to somebody who didn't even have the balls to put their name on it.
According to anybody who knows anything about music.
What?
Nicky.
What? He was on that television show last week, the week before.
The only time Nicky Byrne ever had a nose in his head was when he was hitting the head with a piano. It's the only time.
You know the show he was on?
Couldn't care less.
About singing songs and... Bradley in S Club 7.
Yeah, he was the black fella. What was his point? Space. Jim Core in the Cores. Weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah, Jim, you
the fat one in Little Mix. Yeah. I don't even know who Little Mix are.
Of course you know who Little Mix are. Who doesn't know who Little Mix are? Are you not in touch with youth culture? Seriously, man, what is wrong with you? Are you aging?
What?
You're getting old.
I'm not getting
old. You're not in touch with youth culture. Kerry Katona and Atomic Kitten. Seriously.
No, they were all waste of space in Atomic Kitten. Now, can we go to Padraig there?
How are you, Padraig?
How's it going, Adrian?
Is it Padraig or Padraig?
Whatever you want to call
it. Does it really make a difference?
It does, yeah. Anyway, Padraig, go on, tell me what happened to you in Ballymun today.
I was walking home, walking a 9-to-5 job, and I was just walking home, like, randomly, walking past the Ballymun Towers there.
So, what job did you say you work?
I work as a sheet metal worker.
And what hours do you work?
What difference does that make?
9 to 5.
I'm just telling you, like...
Oh, yeah, what a way to make a living.
Anyway, right, I was walking past anyway and bleeding. Out of nowhere, I got a smack of a bleeding child's nappy. On me jacket, brand new jacket. I was only at the point, look, I thought, ready at the walk to show it off to all the lads, and out of nowhere, I got a bag of a nappy. A fucking used nappy out there. It was shy from my neck.
Ah, lads, no.
Yeah. The God, that's a bleeding shit, that area. I'm going to tell you all up there in Ballymun. It's an awful shithole. Like, literally, it's a shithole, and they're throwing...
It's a lot better than it used to be.
Oh, come on, but Adrian, you're getting smacks of bleeding nappies now. What's up?
And where else would you get a smack of a nappy?
No, I've never gotten it.
I haven't even got me fucking hood up.
I'm happy to say I've made it through my 88 years without ever getting a smack of a nappy ever.
I wouldn't mind a nappy now. I use nappy even at that, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, swear to God, that Ballymun place is an awful dump place, man. And I wouldn't mind, I'm from up there. I'm thinking about moving out and all because of it. That's a really, really stints me. I'm never getting the bus.
I'm sorry, where did the nappy come from, Padraig?
Over the balcony. They must you want to hear them all laughing and all.
But what kind of mother, and shame on you, Ballymun, what kind of mother would throw a used nappy out of a balcony?
I I don't know, to be honest, that it was shocking. Honest to God, I went home, my mad and all, she had to throw out the dinner and all. Shit, I nearly got sick all over.
I'd say the shit really hit the fan, did it?
No, it hit the head.
She went, you had to hold my nose walking bleeding down the road and all it did. There was people and all laughing at me. I don't know whether they were little kids laughing at me or bleeding the arm was laughing at me or something. I wouldn't mind. Do you know what sort of a nappy it was?
No.
Hello Kitty nappy.
It was a what?
Hello Kitty nappy. You know, one of them bleeding Dora the Explorer, you know all that.
Adrian, do you know anything about nappies or diapers or anything like that? It was a Dora the Explorer nappy.
Yeah, honest to God, terrible.
That's awful.
You seem pretty traumatised by the whole thing.
Of course he is, wouldn't you be?
I was only my own walk, lad. Smacking the used nappy. What's on the place is that? Well, come on, man.
I know, but that couldn't only happen in Ballymun. That could happen in Foxrock.
Foxrock, throw you nappy.
I'm sure there's women throwing
nappies out of their houses
in Foxrock.
Exactly, Adrian. I'm going to smack the bleeding nappy over the balcony. There was shy all over me neck. I don't know what, it's an awful place, terrible. I'm thinking about moving out and all here.
Come here, Porrick, let me ask you a question. Nicky Byrne was in a television show recently. What was it called?
He's only an arsehole, Nicky Byrne.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh.
Wasn't it? In The Voice.
The Voice.
The Voice, is that what it was? All right, come on. All right, decent man, thanks very much. Good luck.
Bye.
Have you ever got a bang of a nappy?
What?
Have you ever got a bang of a nappy?
I can safely say in my 25 years...
25 years of...
alive, I've never got a bang of a nappy. No. Can we do this?
Huh?
Can we do this?
You've never got a bang of a nappy?
No.
You don't know what you're missing.
What?
Oh.
By the way, before we do that, we finally discovered, according to who was it? Tommy, I think texted in. The movie about the fog from the 1980s starring Jamie Lee Curtis was in fact called The Fog, believe it or not. And I've managed to find a trailer about the movie.
Are we going to listen to 2 minutes 42 of a trailer?
Yes, this will summarise what the movie The Fog was.
Okay, brilliant. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
John Carpenter's The Fog.
This is KAB, Antonio Bay. Stevie Wayne here, and let me be the first to wish Antonio Bay a happy birthday. We're 100 years old.
Hear the noise of the fog?
Yeah, I made that noise earlier.
Fog bank, heading in from the east.
100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something unknown came out of the fog. Oh, now it has returned. Oh, Jesus. 100 years ago, between midnight and 1, something unnatural came out of the fog. Now it has returned.
Can I just say, that looks absolute shite. It looks absolute drivel.
Now, I watched that movie when I was a kid and I was terrified.
Really?
And looking back on it now, there's nothing scary about it. A fog that kills people.
Yeah, really. Get real, will you? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah?
Yeah?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. On the way after the break, we have tonight's cheesy tabloid headlines. Don't go away. This is FM104's Phone Show.
FM104's Free Friday. Kicking off.
Is there something bugging you? Or something you've always wanted to know? Whatever it is, just get it off your chest.
Call us now on 6797 FM104.
This is
the FM104 Phone Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get your phones in your hands because it's time for tonight's cheesy tabloid headlines. And by the way, this is one of the last cheesy tabloid headlines ever.
We've been saying that for months.
No, it's going now. I've had enough of it. Seriously. Because... do you know what's happened?
What?
People just aren't being funny anymore. Not being funny isn't working for me. Okay?
Okay, can you try and text in
Make them funny tonight or I'm dumping it. It's going. You'll never hear cheesy tabloid headlines again, okay? Make it funny. Let's hear the story.
Now, we very rarely, for cheesy tabloid headlines, we very rarely do stories about penises. But tonight's...
Really?
Tonight's cheesy tabloid headline centres around a penis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Around a penis. And it is the sad and tragic story, Adrian. Can you lower it down?
Okay, sad and tragic, okay.
Of George Ramirez from Colombia, who ended up having to get penis surgery after he took too much Viagra while trying to impress his wife.
Oh.
George Ramirez, 66 years of age, from Colombia, wanted to impress his wife So he took an overdose of the little blue pills, more than recommended, and ended up having an erection for several days. Worried, Mr. Ramirez went to the local hospital where doctors found that his penis had inflamed and become fractured from overuse of Viagra.
Ooh.
It took doctors several hours to remove Mr. Ramirez's penis erection, and they say that the damage, that luckily the damage is not permanent. So there you go. The man had an erection for 3 days.
Whew. Okay, we want you to send in your cheesy tabloid headline to us right now. 53104.
He tried to sue the Viagra company, seemingly.
Right.
And it was thrown out of court.
Why?
It just didn't stand up in court.
Oh, because the tablets have worn off.
Yeah, it didn't stand up in court. Okay, go on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Give me the beat for that.
There you go. We want you to text us in your cheesy tabloid headline right now to 53104. 53104 is our text number.
Again, it's the story of George Ramirez from Colombia who has ended up needing penis surgery after he took too much Viagra. The 66-year-old man from... you're nearly 66. You'll be popping the elbow pills fairly soon, won't you?
When will I be 66?
And about 30 years.
Yeah, there you go.
George Ramirez, 66 from Colombia, took too much Viagra because he wanted to impress his wife. After 3 days his erection had not gone down, he sought medical attention. Doctors confirmed that his penis was inflamed and fractured. How do you fracture your penis?
I've no idea. Thankfully, it's never happened to me.
After a small operation, they managed to remove the permanent erection, and Mr. Ramirez is recovering well in hospital.
There you go.
Text your cheesy tabloid headlines to 53104. Make sure you stick your name on the text or they won't be read out, and you'll be very sad.
Okay, get going right now.
There's an hilarious one, no name on it. That person's an absolute fool. If your number ends in 3874, you are a fool. Aren't they?
Send your cheesy tabloid headline into us right now to 53104.
There he goes with the 3 again.
For fear that Jeremy might have a nervous breakdown,
53104.
please include your name. Send it to 53104.
53104.
Right now, okay? 53104 is our text number. Send it in to us right now. It's FM104's cheesy tabloid headlines. So please make them funny, or I'm scrapping this thing. I'm just forgetting I'm stopping it. Okay? You listen to me.
Sorry, Adrian, I'm the producer of this show.
Yeah, whatever.
And I say what goes.
Yeah,
I'm the producer.
Yeah, producer.
53104.
Okay, let's read out some of your cheesy tabloid headlines. Keep them
will
coming
you go
in.
to Stephen first?
No, really?
Yeah.
Do you, honestly, really?
Who knows?
Stephen! Yeah, see? He's not there.
Oh, you were right. Was he a con man?
A con man, yeah. Okay, let's read out some of your cheesy tabloid headlines. Send them in to us right now to 53104.
Oh, Lord. 53104.
Yeah. Hi, lads. Nicky Byrne's show was the hit. Was it a hit?
Says Aisling. I don't think it was a hit. Aisling.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
The nappy man has me... Oh, no, that's complete. Larry Mullen, no. Okay. Popped the broke his drill. What the hell does that mean, Barry and Bray?
Oh my God, Barry. Why did you even get up this morning? Seriously.
Back to bed, Barry.
John and Offaly, 3-day erection causes tissue infection.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cockbock Doc let himself down.
No, that doesn't even make sense.
Why, was he a doctor?
No, he wasn't a doctor. We never said that in the story.
No, sorry, Robert. No.
Eric says a story like that could only happen in Cumbria. Cumbria?
Mr. Colombian affection and Wong awful erection.
No, these aren't funny.
No, they're just... I'm telling you, I'm scrapping this cheesy tabloid
they're
headline
just not
thing.
Funny.
It's going.
You're all a waste of space.
It's not staying on this show.
Haley Hughes says 66-year-old Colombian man has 3 hard days. That's not funny either, Haley.
No, it's not at all.
That's actually a statement of fact.
Stiff medicine beats the hard situation.
That's not funny.
Juliet, no.
Darrett and Rush. Viagra bender leaves one man tender.
Ah, okay, fine. That's halfway decent, yeah? Keep them coming in, 53104. Make them funny or we're scrapping cheesy tabloid headlines.
Colin says a hefty dick for a man of 66. 66?
And he thought she gave him a hard time, says Ryan in Tullamore. Not bad, Ryan, not bad, not bad.
Okay.
Let you away with that.
Mick in Mullingar, what's up, Doc?
Yeah.
Dougie, on the horn till Monday morn.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What else have we got? JD in Kildare says doctors have a battle with Little Bighorn. Kate in Selbridge, man takes the mickey when taking drugs for his dickie.
Cian and Ballantyre, the loner with the boner.
Suzanne, pill popper gets stuck with a whopper.
Oh, this is toe talks now.
Sinead Cusack, erect him, it nearly effing killed him. Yeah, I like that. Go on.
Okay, half a ding for that, yeah.
Gulaya says...
Julia, that is your
Julia.
fool.
Oh, so
Gulaya.
Oh, God, that's awkward. That's probably the funniest thing so far tonight.
Gulaya.
Oh, Lord.
Julia.
I'll just leave now. Okay, I'm going.
Blue pill makes him ill.
No, that's not funny either. Owen, it's been a hard cock life.
No.
John, what a cock up.
No, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
it's over.
None of you are funny.
It's finished.
You know what? You know what? You lot that listen to the show. You have the sense of humour of a funeral. That's what you have.
Yep.
The sense of humour of a funeral. I came out with the funniest cheesy tabloid headline for that.
Which was?
He took Viagra to court, but he lost the court case. It just wouldn't stand up in court.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed cheesy tabloid headlines. It's gone, it's finished, it's finito, it's over, it's never happening again, okay? Enjoy the music while it lasts. Here we go. Bam, 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 Okay, thank you. There you go. That was the last cheesy tabloid headlines. Just not doing it again. You let me down. Just weren't funny tonight. Sorry. No, I won't change my mind. It's done now. It's done. Live from Dublin, Tuesday, September 24th, 2013. This is FM104's Phone Show. Hope you're enjoying the programme tonight. This is Adrian Kennedy with you until 1 o'clock tonight. Now, recent reports on homelessness suggest that many people sleeping rough on the streets of Dublin are quite young and for some reason have been kicked out of the family home. Barry is a listener who got in contact with us about this because he wants to ask a simple question to you, the listener. What kind of parent kicks their son or daughter out of the family home and onto the streets? Barry says that he was talking to a homeless young man on the streets today who was only 16 and sleeping rough for the past 6 months since he was kicked out of his family home by his mother for being uncontrollable and messing around with drugs. Barry was shocked that this is actually going on. And questions what type of parent makes their own child homeless, regardless of what they have done. I want you to have a listen to what Barry has to say. Adrian, you are a parent, I am a parent, so you'll be shocked as I explain this to you. I got talking to a homeless young fella on at Stephen's Green today. He was 16 years of age and was sleeping rough for the past 6 months. He tells me that his mother kicked him out because he was out of control and on hash and stole money for her. Still no excuse for kicking your own child out literally on the street. What type of parent does that? Is it even legal? My heart went out to this poor young fella. Imagine your own 16-year-old sleeping on a park bench. My name is Barry, by the way. And I'd like to hear from you. 6797104 is our telephone number. Basically, he's saying, what type of parent would ever throw their 15, 16, even 14-year-old out on the streets? Sadly, a lot of the kids that we see on the streets of Dublin are young 14, 15, 16-year-olds. They have to have come from somewhere. Who threw them out on the streets? Our telephone number is 6797104. 6797104 is our telephone number. Can you understand how a parent could kick their own child out on the streets? Is that just the most horrible thing you've ever heard? Or can you completely understand how a parent might want to kick their child out on the street? Have you ever been forced into a situation where you had to throw your child out on the street? And if so, why and how? Give me a call right now. 6797104 is our telephone number. Quick break and FM104's phone show continues in just over 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Get involved. Call us now on 6797 FM104.
This is Ireland's most listened to late night radio show, the FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy. Ireland's #1 late night radio show. This is the FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy.
Now, you're very welcome back. Thank you very much indeed for joining us live from Dublin City. This is Adrian Kennedy with FM104's Phone Show. Hope you're enjoying the programme tonight. We're with you until 1 o'clock. Recent reports on homelessness suggest that many of the people sleeping rough on the streets of Dublin are quite young and for some reason have been kicked out of the family home or ended up on the streets. For reasons perhaps some of us don't understand. Have a listen to this email that we got from a guy called Barry. And he says, Adrian, you're a parent. I'm a parent. So you'll be shocked as I tell you about this. I got talking to a homeless young fella in Stephen's Green today. He was 16 years of age and was sleeping rough for the past 6 months. He tells me that his mother kicked him out because he was a bit out of control and on hash and stole some money from her. Still no excuse for kicking your own kid to the curb. What type of parent does that? Is it even legal? My heart went out to this poor young fella. Imagine your own 16-year-old sleeping on a park bench. My name is Barry, by the way. And I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797104. 6797104 is our telephone number. Can you understand how somebody can end up on the streets, homeless, at such a young age? It seems shocking. Are you a parent who was forced to throw your child out, basically rendering him or her homeless? Give me a call. 6797104 is our telephone number. Trev, you're on FM104. How are you, Trev?
How are you, Aidan? How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Trev. Now, you believe that any parent who kicks their child out on the street should be charged?
Yeah, I mean, like, you bring a child into the world, like, to look after them, to bring them up. Like, I mean, I have 2 kids myself. I have an 18-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old or 15-year-old daughter. And no matter what happens, like, I'd never kick my kids out. I mean, I just heard the story of that chap, like, a 16-year-old. How can any parent sit at home, watch TV, or do what they're doing, knowing that, like, when they go to bed at night, their child's sitting on a bench in the lashing the rain, in the freezing the cold. No matter what
I know, and you look like you look at a night like tonight, and it started to lash rain now.
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's the one type of weather I hate being. I think all of us hate being out in the rain, and it makes you think and spare a thought for people who have no roof over their head tonight.
It just makes you sick, like, to think that any parent. I mean, when a child gets 18, 19, there's not really much you can do. So, one time, like, is when I heard about that child who's 16 years of age being left out on the streets. I mean, it's coming into the winter as well, okay? And the weather temperature is going to be freezing cold. I just think the parents, they should be contacted. I mean, if you find someone on the street and they're underage, they should contact the parents. Go to the parents' house, like, and find out what the hell's going on, because you cannot do that to your child. No matter what, like, they're on drugs, they're taking money, help them. That's what a parent is. You're not like Anthony, you're a parent. You have to, this way, you brought your kids into the world. I'm sure every parent that says to their kids when they were born, you know what, I'm going to look after you, I'm going to bring you up, I'm going to give you everything. I know some kids come from broken homes, but yeah.
Okay, now, from what this young fella told Barry when he was talking to him, he said that he tells me his mother kicked him out because he was a bit out of control, was smoking hash and stole money from her.
So that's the solution. Just, all right, I'm not going to help you, so piss off. No, that's not an excuse. You do your best.
For all we know, he might have been absolutely a little terror, an absolute nightmare of a young fella.
Yeah, so you still, like, you still try and go get help. You still do your best as a parent to help your child. That's what you're meant to do. You find everything you can. You know, obviously something's been happening from a younger age. You know, if she decided to kick him out at that age, but it's still no excuse to kick a child out of a house at any age like that. You're supposed to go and help your children, look after your children, rear your children. You know, that's the whole point, like, of bringing up kids.
So you believe that any parent, for whatever reason, who kicks out a 15-year-old out on the street to fend for themselves should be charged with neglect?
Yeah, because that's what it is. You've just neglected your child by leading them out on the streets. You've neglected them. You're sitting at home, you're watching their TV, or you're doing whatever you're doing, knowing that your child is 16 years of age, is sitting out on the park bench in the lashing of the rain, coming into the winter in the freezing cold weather, trying to beg for money to get food and the whole lot while you're sitting at home. I mean, I'm not... Your man said that the child, like, he was, like, you know, probably abusive at home or on drugs or something, but, like, you still try your best and get the help for your child, because that, as Michael said, that's what a parent is for. You don't just sit back, let it get out of control, and say, "Wait, that's it. I'm not looking at the kids anymore."
All right, but stay there for 1 second. So they should be charged. A parent who kicks their child out on the street and says, "You're not playing by my rules. Go fend for yourself." Those parents should be prosecuted, in your opinion.
Yeah.
All right, stay there for 1 second, Trev. Patrick, you're on FM 104. How are you, Patrick?
Oh, yeah, Adrian. I was cake down when I...
Oh, Patrick, seriously, get off the phone. Michelle, you're on FM 104. How are you, Michelle?
Hello, how are you doing?
Yes, Michelle, what did you want to say?
Well, I as I wrote in the text, like, whenever I was younger, I got through my house. My mum put me out.
At what age?
I'd say I was 14 first.
You were 14 when you were thrown out of your house?
Probably 14, yeah, 13, 14, yeah.
And what had you done that warrant you being kicked out of your house?
Well, very good reasons to be put out, like, I was on drugs, I was drinking, and I was robbing my ma and robbing everything out of the house and that, and doing all that kind of stuff, like, you know what I mean? And like, the girl that answered their phone and asked me would I do it to my kids. And my kids, thankfully, aren't the way I was. You know, thankfully I'm...
Oh, so do you think you deserve to be kicked out? Do you think you deserve to be thrown out of your house?
Well, I don't think I'd be able to be... I don't think as a mother, I'd be able to put up with the behaviour that I gave my mother. I brought the police to the door, I done all that kind of stuff. I don't know how you could cope with it, like... Because... Like, I have kids today, and...
But as Trev said a moment ago, isn't that the job of a parent? Whether you can cope with it or not, he believes that is your job as a parent.
It is your job as a parent, but, like, you know, there comes a point when people, you know, can't take any more. They just can't take any more, whether they're your kids or they're not your kids. You know, there does become a point, and, like, I don't know what circumstances them other kids were that your man was talking to, and if it was for that simple reason, you know, that he was through his house, well, you know, I don't see through that, but I know my behaviour was well out of order, and I you know, I dropped my ma's eyes and came back for her eyelashes, and that's the truth. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the madness and horribleness of addiction, and thank God my kids is not in that predicament today. And if they were, and they done the things I done, I really don't know, Adrian. I couldn't tell you what I would do.
So you're saying you wouldn't be able to cope with you as you were when you were 14, when you were thrown out of your house. The question that I asked is, do you feel you deserve to be thrown out of your house?
Well, with the things that I done, yeah.
Well, there you are, Trev. She believes she deserved to be thrown out of her own house when she was a kid.
Nobody deserves to be kicked out of their house. No child deserves to be sitting on the streets of Dublin, or anywhere for that matter.
Have you a child, Trevor?
I have two. I have two kids. I have two girls.
Everybody, what ages?
18 and 15.
Well, by Jesus, I hope you don't end up like me.
Well, I tell you, when I was young, I probably wasn't the goodest kid in the block, you could say. You know, I've given my mother awful hard times before, or, you know, done a few things in time. But, you know, my parents, you know, brought me up, like, you know, I was old, I did do stupid things and all that, but my parents, you know...
I'm not saying my parents didn't bring me up, but
yeah.
It was the people I like when I went to school. It was the people I chose to hang around with. It was the people I chose, the gangs I chose to get into, and it was the stuff I chose to do. My mother didn't send me out to do any of that.
No, but what I'm saying is, when you started getting to the age where your mother says, right, look, you know, like you said you were 14, but I mean, at 14 that's very young, you know, and to do the things you were doing, your parents, like whether it was your mother or just a father, or should have been able to say to you, here, you know what I mean, cut this on, sort this out.
Oh, trust me, they did.
Do things about it, like, but keep doing it. No, don't give up on it. You gotta say, oh, here, this is hard.
Cutting across you. But my mother didn't come in one day and just say, Serene, off you go, out, you're off, you're out the door. She didn't say that to me. It was months and months and months, and it ended up into years of hell that I put my mother through. Years of it.
And, okay, the question that I asked is, do you think that it was right of your mother to throw a then 14-year-old you out on the street?
Yeah. From what I done, yeah. Because if not, I'd have killed my mother anyway, and I don't mean physically killed her. Like, I'd have killed her with a heart attack, with pressure, with, you know, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, she couldn't put up with me. She couldn't cope with me. I was uncontrollable. I was an uncontrollable child with the things that I done.
Right, Adrian?
Yes, go on, yeah.
What's that lady's name, sorry?
Her name is Michelle.
Michelle, do you think that, like, your parents, they should have brought you somewhere, say, bring it to a doctor, say, or bring it, like, but keep at it, you know?
They did, but I was old enough, and I turned around and refused to do things that I was asked to do. You know, they didn't...
What I'm looking at here is that...
I was 14 going on 21, like a lot of kids. I refused to go. I'd run away. I'd do what I'd have to do, not to go to these places.
You were saying to your parents, look, do what you want, like, I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And what happened is, you then took over your parents saying, hey, look, there's nothing you can do about me now. And then you were saying they got to the point where they kicked you out.
Well, it was either they kicked me out or I dropped them out of house and home and they have nothing left in the house.
So, that's my point. At 14 years of age, if the police had came to your parents and says, right, we're charging you now with neglect.
How could the police have charged me mother with neglect?
Sorry?
How could they have charged my mother with neglect?
Because if you're saying if your parents kicked you out at 14 years of age, that's still a child, like, you know what I mean? And
I was neglecting my mother.
What I'm getting at is there wasn't enough help there. She gave up on you. I don't mean to be bad at him, but by kicking you out in the street, she gave up. She packed in, like, at 14 years of age. She gave up. She didn't keep going. Did you have brothers or sisters?
I wasn't thrown out at 14 and just left off on my own. Like, I came back, I was back, I was forward, I was back, I was forward. Every time she brought me home, I done the same thing. Like, she didn't just throw me out at 14 and say, good luck to you, off with you.
Were you out for long on the streets?
There was times I was, yeah. There was times, because I was doing what I wanted to be doing. That's the lifestyle that I chose, and I didn't like it, but I done it. You know, I liked her sometimes, but then there was times it got too much. Like any, you know, addict, you know, it becomes too much for them sometimes, and that's when I wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And any time I asked could I go home, I was let home, and I had conditions, but I never, ever, ever stuck to the conditions. Never.
You said you're a parent yourself.
I am now, yeah.
If any, God forbid, any of your children were to start doing now what you had done, would you give up or would you do everything you can to help them?
I would like to hope and pray that I could do everything I could to help them. And, like, now,
you sound like a lovely woman. That's what you sound like a lovely woman, like, and like, I'm sure you're a fantastic parent. But that's what my point was saying is, at this day and age, now say, I'm sure there's loads of help there, because that child that's in Stephen's Green now, he's only 16 years of age.
And
we don't know probably the full story, but at 16 years of age...
It just sounds shocking. Well, do me a favour, stay there for 1 second. Harry, you're on FM104. How are you, Harry?
Good evening, Adrian. How are you?
Harry, something like this happened to you when you were 13.
Yeah, I was thrown out at 13 years of age.
At 13?
Yeah, I slept in the field.
For, like, how long were you thrown out for?
Just a night.
Oh, it's only a night.
No, but I was still thrown out. Anything could have happened to me at 13 years of age, sleeping in the field.
Yeah, anything could, and it's not to be recommended 13-year-olds being in fields. However, it's not like you were thrown out forever.
No, I wasn't, no, but it's not a nice memory to have as an adult.
No, I'm sure it's not a nice memory to have as an adult, no. And what do you think of parents who kick out their children at a young age?
I don't think they should bother being parents.
Oh, what, your job is to look after your kids no matter how bold they are?
But they are being very bold and they are stealing and stuff and they are being a nuisance and drinking and antisocial behaviour. They should just ring up the help board or, the foster people, you know what I mean?
But not throw them out on the street to fend for themselves?
Yeah, they should just ring up the cops or just let the government...
But you just heard Michelle a couple of minutes ago saying that she actually understands why she was thrown out, and you do, Michelle.
Michelle deserves to be thrown out.
Yeah, I do understand, yeah, because I'm a mother now and I know there's no way I could cope with what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? And my ma called the police on me. She doing everything in her power. My ma brought me to the hospital. She brought me to the Mater hospital. She got tests done on me to the hospital. She got things done that she thought there was things wrong with me because I was doing things like this. She didn't only, sit back on her arse and let me do it. Like, she went out of her way to see if she could get me help. Now, and I'm going back a good while ago. You know what I mean? Today, it's sad to see a 16-year-old in a park or anywhere else. Because there is a lot more help today than what there was then. Like I used to remember, I used to ring a phone number to get to stay in a hospital rather than sleep, on some street corner or something. Because that's what I used to do too.
Okay, stay there for a moment. James, you're on FM104. How are you, James?
Hey, Adrian. What's the size?
Now, James, it's Trev you wanted to speak to, is it?
Yeah, it's just one of them, you know what I mean? People are talking nonsense about, you know what I mean? I was actually expelled from school, right, for doing a prank on a substitute teacher, right, and I was kicked out. And then my parents, actually, right, they actually told me they expelled me from the house. I had to go down with my father, and I didn't know what was going on, you know what I mean? So they can't say any shit like that, you know what I mean?
So, no, I don't know what you mean, to be honest with you.
No, look, you know what I mean? I was expelled from school, right?
Yeah.
For one thing or another, and my mother basically banished me, and he said, we're done with you, right? You know what I mean? And that's exactly what the topic is about, right?
Yes, okay, so were you thrown out?
Yeah, I was, I was kicked down to my dad's, right, who lived on the whole road, and then all of a sudden, he was a loser, my father was a loser, right, and all of a sudden then he couldn't care less whether I went back to school or not, right, and all of a sudden I went on this one road, yeah, and then that's what your topic is about, yeah, it's about responsibility. You know what I mean? I was kicked out of school, and my parents couldn't give a shit what happened, and that's what I'm talking about, yeah?
And did you end up homeless?
I was living in Indycar, Adrian, and I was actually homeless. I had the crap I had to go through to, and I couldn't believe the amount of shit they were asking me to go and look for, and I couldn't even provide them with the information they were looking for. And, I was like, I'm actually homeless. I had to go to Cedar House. I had to go to Cable Street. I had to go to all over the shit. Now, this is I'd say 2004. Right, you know what I mean?
And do you blame irresponsible parents for that?
Yeah, because do you know what, Adrian? Like you're a lot better off than most people, right? But do you know what? My
you think so? But go on.
Right, my circumstances, right? My parents, right? I don't think they handle my situation responsibly because I think
parents should. Sorry for cutting across things, but that's what my point was getting. That parents should be able to handle their kids, provide them with the help because they brought them into the world. They should try and find everything to look at. Because again,
listen, what I'm trying to say to you, listen, just for a second, just for like 20 seconds, yeah?
Right, go ahead.
The parents believe they're doing the best for their children, yeah?
But kicking children out on the street is hardly the best for them, is it?
Yeah, I know, Adrian, exactly what you're talking about, right? But if they kicked me out, right, because I got expelled from school, right, before me junior cert, right, and then all of a sudden I'm kicked out on the street, what am I supposed to do, Adrian?
Okay, do me a favour, both of you, Trev and James, stay there for 1 second if you can, please. And Paul, I'll come to your call straight after the break. It happened to you at 13.
That's correct, yeah.
I'll be with you straight after the ad break.
No problem.
Dublin's hit music station, FM104. Don't just sit there. Speak your mind.
Call us now on 6797 FM104.
The FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy.
Now, you're very welcome back. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's Adrian with FM104's Phone Show for Tuesday, September 24th, 2013. Now, I want to read an email that I got again from a guy called Barry. He says, Adrian, you're a parent. I'm a parent. So you'll be shocked as I tell you about this. I got talking to a homeless young fella in Stephen's Green today. He was 16 years of age and was sleeping rough for the past 6 months. He tells me that his mother kicked him out because he was out of control and using hash and he stole money from her. Still no excuse for kicking your own kid to the curb. What type of parent... he says, what type of parent actually does this to their own child? Is it even legal? My heart went out to this poor young fella. Imagine your own 16-year-old sleeping on a park bench. My name is Barry, by the way. And I'd love to hear from you in this. Do you think it's okay to throw a child of that age out? 6797104 is our telephone number. Let me go to Paul. You're on FM104. How are you, Paul?
How are you, Adrian?
Good, Paul. Now, the same thing happened to you when you were 13.
When I was 14, I won't go into too much information how and why it happened, but basically it came to the situation where when I was 13, my mother had to make a decision as to whether to keep me in the family home or to put me into the care of the HSC, and I obviously was put into the care of the HSC, and at 13 I was taken from where I'd spent the majority of my life, and they put me into city centre hostels, which are like 6 and 7 bed dorms, which is hostels with complete strangers that you wouldn't really know and stuff like that. And like at age 14, it was a bit of a daunting experience, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, it's known as the out of hours service because you see the difference with homelessness. If you're under 18, the state has an obligation to look after your well-being. So there is a lot of services out there for under 18 homelessness, like than there would be compared to the adult services out there. Like, but I mean, at the age of 14 and 15, I mean, I was witnessing, I mean, other teenagers my own age committing suicide and dying of heroin overdoses and stuff like that, and being around that environment, it's not exactly the type of place that I'd want my own child to be around.
And 13, what was the worst thing you did at 13?
At 14, I will admit I was out of control, but I did have issues with ADHD and stuff like that, and I was prescribed. The answer to that was just to prescribe me Ritalin and whatever else. They had me on 90 milligrams of Ritalin a day, like, and I mean, it affected how I was able to do my school and just live on my daily kind of life and all that and stuff. So I came off that medication when I was 15, and I haven't taken it since. But I mean, I think that...
Okay, the question that we're asking tonight is, do you think you deserve to be thrown out at 13?
I don't blame my mother. I don't blame my mother for...
But you were 13. You were a little kid.
I know I was 13, my sister would be of that same opinion if she was asked that question. But in my own personal opinion, I believe I pushed my mother to that point where she had no choice, because before that she did make several attempts to make sure that everything was dealt with at home and that the HSE didn't have any involvement in it, in what was going on with our lives. But eventually I did push it to the stage where that did become an issue, so I do.
No, I understand what you're saying, that you were a handful, you were very difficult to control and all.
Control.
Yes, okay, I get that. But you were still only 13, Paul.
I understand that, yeah, I know, but I mean...
What age are you now?
Now I'm in my mid-20s, and I'm actually experiencing homelessness again, because I lost the apartment that I had for 2 years because of issues with a landlord and stuff like that. And but this time it was as a couple. So I mean, we had to sleep rough for nearly 4 weeks just so we could get in a hostel that doesn't even basically provide you with simple things like bedclothes, toiletries and stuff like that. But I mean, I see homeless people day in, day out, and I see people that have been sleeping rough on the streets for the best part of 5 to 6 years, and their lives are just completely
Okay, so as a result of you being thrown out of your house at 13,
yeah,
and you're almost defending your mother's decision to throw you out.
I'm not defending it, but I'm not defending it, but I can understand that as a 13-year-old, there's only a certain amount of kind of responsibility that obviously that like a kid that age can take. But like looking back, like I was out of control, and I was very difficult to manage. And my mother did make other attempts before that, but she did ultimately sign the papers that handed me to the HSE because of problems that were going on at home, as well as problems that was going on with myself as well. There was issues with alcohol at home, and there was other issues. But out of 5 family members, I was the only one that was placed into the care of the HSE, and my other family members weren't. So I mean, and ultimately now...
You see, what I'm getting at here is, did your mother deal with you properly and appropriately and try and get you the help that you obviously needed?
She did try, yeah. I'd be lying if if I said she didn't, but she ultimately signed the papers that handed me over to the HSE, and I suppose I'm her son at the end of the day, like, and she knew that by doing that, she was putting me into a lifestyle that like would be a nightmare for most kids that age. And like obviously that's like it is a hard opinion for a lot of people, like, and sometimes I did spend a large part of my life blaming my mother for what happened to me and stuff like that. But
and now what? You're sorry, what age did you say you were again?
At the moment I'm 26.
You're 26, so this was 13 years ago. And what sort of a life do you have now, Paul?
At the moment, well, like I say, I've actually just experiencing homeless now in the last 12 months because I lost an apartment but I've been going through the services that are on offer in Dublin since like the last decade, and it's like once you turn 18, it's like there's absolutely
nothing there for you. I understand that, yeah.
It's like the HSE deal with you till they're 18, and then once that happens, they give you the chance, and then when that's finished, ultimately you're just gone then,
and you're on your own, yeah.
And you end up in hostels with alcoholics, drug addicts. Even if you don't take drugs or you're not on drink, you're put in that environment where your life is in danger and stuff like that. And like, I mean, like in my time in care, I witnessed like more than one suicide. Teenagers. I had a very good friend of mine, David, who was in the care of the HSE, and he died.
And you were witnessing stuff from what I'm hearing, you were witnessing stuff that kids shouldn't be witnessing.
Yeah, we absolutely on a daily basis, because what the HSE solution to this problem is to take children from their family homes and place them in hostels that are based in the city centre and that are based in some of the most crime-ridden parts
of the city. Yeah, no, I get that. But this all comes down to the fact, Paul, that your mother didn't deal with you properly.
I suppose you
I mean, is it not her job to care for you? Even though you were a little tearaway, little brat at 13, you were still only 13. The thoughts, I have to be honest with you, of a 13-year-old walking around our streets tonight makes me cringe. It really does.
I can assure you, Adrian, that there are plenty.
Oh, I know there are. I've seen them, and it's
walking around these streets right as we're speaking.
I'm well aware of it, and it's shocking. It really is. Stay there for a second, Brian. You're on FM104. How are you, Brian?
How are you doing, Adrian?
Now, Brian, you were also kicked out at 13.
Was you?
What happened with you?
I come home one night and my brother was there to take my father's sheep out and he crashed it. And he ran up the stairs to kill him, and I ran up the stairs after him with a crutch. And I got my dad smacked in the back of him with a crutch. And he fucked me and me, sorry for the language, he's thrown me and my brother out in my boxer shorts, yeah? Two of us in boxer shorts, yeah?
And what was your brother?
He was a year older than me.
Right, so he was 14, you were 13.
Yeah, and all I got was a black bag and a duvet. And now what I done straight away, walked straight around the corner, knocked onto a nun's door, said, I'm not getting thrown out of my house. Is there any chance I can get a bit of food off you? So she walked into the kitchen, there was a handbag, I whipped that handbag, got her own leg there.
Lovely lad, yeah, lovely. And what happened? So this was over what? The two of you were thrown out over what?
My brother took out my dad's Jeep and he crashed it.
Okay, now you can understand why you'd be pissed off at that.
Yeah. And I just come in and I picked up a crutch and ran up and got me dad a smack of it.
And that was it? You were thrown out, never to return?
Thrown? I come back, after a few weeks. I was sleeping rough, I was sleeping under my mate's bed and this, that and the other. I was sleeping all over the place, you know what I mean?
And how long did that continue for?
About a year, I'd say.
And what is your opinion of your father for throwing you out like that?
My father's done a lot to me down the years, to be honest with you. Like, I suppose he was just pissed off.
Yeah, we all get pissed off with our kids, and our kids do awfully bad things sometimes. But does it warrant being thrown out in the street to fend for yourself?
I don't know.
You see, a lot of people believe, and this is what I've been hearing, Brian, a parent who will do that is a bad parent. Their job is to mind their children.
True.
Simple as that.
Yeah, simple as that, true, yeah.
And throwing your kids out on the street is hardly minding your children.
Well, I have 4 kids around myself, and I wouldn't throw any of them out on the street, and that's being honest with you.
No matter what they ever did on you?
No matter what they ever did to me, never, ever.
And I know an awful lot of parents feel the exact same way. No matter what they ever did on me, I would never throw them out in the street.
No. I'd get them to help. If they were on drugs, I'd lock them in a room. I wouldn't let them out. And I'd get them off of myself. To see them drug clinics, they're no use. You go on to 4, you can't even go off to 4 then, you know what I mean? It goes worse and worse and worse. You have to do it yourself.
All right, stay there for 1 second, please. 6797104 is our telephone number. It's Adrian with FM104's phone show. Let me go to Jessica. Oh, by the way, our text number, if you want to text us at any point during the programme, is 53104. 53104. Now, where am I going? Jessica, you're on FM104. How are you, Jessica?
Adrian, hi, how are you?
Grand, thanks, Jessica. What did you want to say?
Good. Well, I guess I kind of disagree with the whole thing of, I think you're kind of branding parents to a certain extent that any child that does end up on the street, their parents must be bad. Like, I ended up on the street when I was around 15 and was there until I was about 17, and I fully think it was my own fault. I was put into the care of the HSE. The HSE basically dumped me back into my parents' care. They couldn't deal with me, and I ended up in a tent in the town park for about 7 weeks, you know.
In a tent for 7 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and then what?
And then, where did I go then? Jeez, I ended up back home for probably lasted a week, and then I ended up in a friend's apartment, this older guy's apartment, for a couple of weeks until I kind of got a job, I suppose, and settled myself down, really, you know.
And what age were you?
I was 15 when I ended up in the tent, and I was 16, 17 when I started to get my life back.
A 15-year-old girl living in a tent in a park.
And the HSC wouldn't do anything to help. Now, my parents brought me to, like, I was in a high support unit. I was in several different support homes, I suppose you call them. And, you know, they were decent enough. But I was just so out of control, Adrian. Like, I mean, it was, you know, I was a nut job. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And any parent who could have put up with me at that point, like, would be fucking God.
But isn't that their job, though, Jessica? That is the job of a parent, difficult and all as it is.
I suppose when your parents then get so bad that they start having nervous breakdowns and they go to the HSC, who are supposed to provide support and care, who then, they help for a certain extent. And now in fairness, you know, I mean, I threw everything back in the HSC's face. But they were still my guardians at the time. And they dumped me back onto two unwell people who weren't able to look after me.
So you don't blame your parents at all?
No, I don't, because as well as I was having troubles and being out of control, like, they started to get mentally ill from me. So how are they supposed to look after me when they couldn't look after themselves because of me? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that when our government is supposed to step in and actually take control of a situation? Now, I know there's other people out there and everybody needs help. I understand that completely. But at the end of the day, like, it was actually, I suppose, just so wrong what they did. Like, they placed me back into my parents' care when they actually weren't able. They were not able, like, you know.
So they weren't capable of parenting you, and therefore you don't blame them, you blame the HSE?
I suppose, yeah, to a certain extent I do, because I do think that it's wrong. You know what I mean? I do think that they should have been able to take care of me, the HSE. I mean, you know, if my parents were unwell, like, there's so many, I suppose, children who are unwell and parents that are unwell and children that are out of control because of drugs and whatnot these days, that I just think that somebody should be able to step in when your parents aren't able. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's fair to say that they have to cope with every last single thing. Like, when you're making your parents unwell, that's, you know, that's when it goes. You know what I mean?
And nobody ever said the job of a parent was easy, though.
No, and I understand that completely. But at the same time, like, when you're a parent and you're mentally ill, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to go to people that you trust, which would be the HSC, who are supposed to then in turn help. And when, like, and it was so bad what they did, right? They called a meeting with my mother and I, and we were brought into this room. We didn't have a clue what was happening. All of a sudden, there was papers being thrown around, basically saying, "Look, yeah, you've full care of your daughter there again. Thanks a million. Goodbye." And, like, I was nowhere near in control. Now, I don't know what the HSC were supposed to do with me, to be honest. You know?
Okay, stay there for 1 second. Jenny, you're on FM104. How are you, Jenny?
And now that happened, that I was out on my chest again, and you wanted the stuff I'm not been bringing up off me.
Lovely, I don't need to know. Go on.
Well, can you imagine? I'm telling you, no, the reason I'm saying that is, you won't see what I'm bringing up. I'm on a thing called XP, and you won't see the phlegm I'm bringing up now. And I'm in a house, right? I'm in a house. Now, you know from my daughter, Sabrina before, years ago, before she had the baby, she was a terror. I mean, you helped me on the programme there years ago, but remember the time she broke my elbow, and I couldn't put my daughter out.
Okay, but you've just heard from Jessica here that Jessica actually understands why her parents just weren't able to cope with her.
Well, I wasn't able to cope with my daughter, but she's my flesh and blood, and I still had to make sure she was warm and dry, and I couldn't sleep at night till I knew she got in, no matter. She was stealing cars, she was doing things that wasn't right, and people on the radio gave out that night because I was wondering, because she rang in to tell one of them there that she knew it was me, and had I a fry ready for her, and I said, "Just, I have to get off the phone because I want to make her a fry, she'd be freezing." And people rang in and gave out, "She's still my daughter. I never been listening to the news tonight." And what I can't understand is there was a little young one on her, right? She was in a house last year. Then she had a baby for some fella. She fell out with him. The rent, what she has, nowhere will take her with rent allowance because she gets the rent allowance. She can't afford it without the rent allowance, right?
Okay, sorry, let me go back to the point of this conversation. Do you...
Our child is gone back to her ma, right?
Mm.
And the ma fucked her out because there's no room for her, so she took her child in and fucked her out on the street.
Okay, let me ask you your opinion on parents who throw their... And we've heard loads of different stories of kids being thrown out onto the street.
You wouldn't put a fucking broken milk bottle out.
Well, there you go, Jessica. You wouldn't put a broken milk bottle out.
Yeah, that's fucking disgraceful.
Okay, and then in regards to...
What are they going to do? Just tell me, what are they going to achieve?
What are your parents supposed to do? Are they supposed to lock you in chains? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I was brought to guards, doctors, counsellors, psychiatrists, the HSE.
Even put them into carers. You have to put them into carers, that's it. But don't fuck them out on the street without eating a sandwich.
Oh, but that's the thing, you see. My parents did try, like most parents, they do try to a certain extent.
On the street, only how to get worse and worse and worse.
No, you start learning from your mistakes. How do you start making the right ones? That's what happened to me.
And you're fucking starving.
If my parents kept me in the house, I wouldn't be where I am today. I can tell you that now. Like, there's no way, hope in hell, I'd be where I am today. I'd probably still be on drugs. I'd probably still be drinking. And I probably wouldn't give a shit about anyone or have respect.
Did you require the help in the end?
How did I require it? I got it from fucking motivation and saying sorry and learning from the mistakes that I made.
You didn't just stand up in the middle of O'Connell Street and suddenly decide I'm going to say I'm sorry. Why did you go? How did you come about?
Basically, I went to my nana first, I suppose. My grandmother.
Yeah, so you see, you went back to family. That's what it's all about. So you must have
but until I decided that I would control myself.
Yeah, because you knew it wasn't a fucking knife out there, and your mouth, whoever your ma was.
How did I know that? How did I know that? Because I was out there.
Exactly. Well, she shouldn't be fucked.
Exactly. That's how I learned, because I was out there.
She wasn't fucking fit to be broke. She should have been fucked out, not you.
Okay, so how would I have learned from my mistakes if I hadn't? I guess, in my opinion, some kids just have to learn the tough way. And that's the way it was with me. Tough love. You know what I mean? And I agree with it.
No, I mean, that's, right, maybe somebody preached you or something, or gone to you or something in the street, or gave you a tip off or something. But in the end, you ran back. Well, you ran back somewhere that you might be safe with your ma, with your granny, because your ma was...
Why did I run back? Because I learned from my lessons.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. You wouldn't let... You don't fucking take a child and fuck them out on the street until they're nearly fucking dying and coming back begging. You don't beg your ma. You didn't beg your ma to be born, did you?
Well, in fairness, though, I mean...
And the same story as you. Our ma as a baby.
Sorry, Jenny, I don't know what's happening to your phone line there.
She's no house for her.
Sorry, Jenny, your phone has gone ridiculous there. Marie, you're on FM104. How are you, Marie?
Not too bad.
Marie, she's saying basically you can't ever throw a child out.
Yeah, well, I'll have to say it is a horrible thing to have to do. But, we must think of the old saying, sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. Let's just say we're talking about maybe 13, 14 or 16-year-olds that could be put out on the street, okay? Mm-hmm. But let's just say you have a household where you've got a couple of smaller children than them at home. Now, what if they bring in, like you were mentioning about the guy in the park bench, he had the hash in the house, and, there could have been stuff like maybe tablets or whatever. What if you said, oh God, no, I couldn't throw him out, my heart is broken, but I couldn't throw him out. What if maybe a younger child in the household, say like a 4-year-old, finds an e-tablet or something, and the 4-year-old is found dead? Are you then going to say, well, oh God, no, I still couldn't have put him out? What if the guards get wind?
No, I do understand the point you're making. The question that I'm asking, though, is it ever acceptable for a parent to throw their child out?
Well, I mean, I think most children, we try to bring our children up. We try to teach them right from wrong. Now, unfortunately, outside influence can be very powerful. But you have to try with your child and say, well, you know, this is the way in this house, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. Now, the rules in this house are whatever. So, like, if you don't obey the rules, out you go. So therefore, straight away...
I mean, that's all well and good as a threat, but you're still talking about children, Marie. A 13-year-old on the streets of Dublin is a child. Whether that child wasn't able to obey the rules of the house or whatever, the child is still a child.
No, but they have to learn right from wrong, because if they don't...
And the way for them to learn right from wrong is to throw them out and have them walk in the streets of Dublin.
Well, they have choice. They have choice to actually come back and have a good life in the house. Because if you don't deal with the situation at that age, when they hit 18 and 20, they're going to bring all sorts of badness to your home. They're going to be borrowing money or whatever. The thugs will be on your doorstep. Like, other members of the family will be threatened. You're opening up a whole big can of worms by accepting that, okay, I can't do anything with them, but I'm going to keep them in the house. Like, you're literally opening a whole big can of worms for yourself and the household. It'd be like throwing a dog a bone for barking or whatever. You know, okay, like, I won't throw you out, do what you like.
Well, now, there you go, Jenny. There comes a time where you have to.
Have none of them mothers got conscience? Imagine if one of them came in and said, like, they should open a can of worms for the other. So, in other words, protect all the others and fuck her out as if she's disowned. May I tell you something else, right? My mother, the Lord of mercy on us, this is how we was brought up, right? And what we was told right was wrong. So that we were frightened into it. That she told us if she ever caught us robbing, doing nothing wrong, taking drugs, she would take us by the fucking neck, right? And bring us ourselves down to the guard station and get them to fucking deal with us. Not fuck us out in the street in the rain.
The point being, the threat, yes, maybe, Marie, of you'll be thrown out.
So she was bringing that down because she rang me brother.
Yeah, are you listening to what I'm trying to say, Marie? It's all well and good to have a threat, but to actually follow up on it is a completely different kettle of fish, is it not?
But sure, if you don't follow up on it, sure, they're going to be just laughing at you, basically. You know, I get away and do whatever I like, sure. You know, she's not going to put me out at the end of the day, and, you know, I'll disrupt the household, make things bad for younger children in the household, drive me mother and father mad, bring all sorts of trouble to the door as time goes on. Disrupt everything.
You worry about the fucking door, not our child.
Like, well, you know what I mean.
You know, at the end of the day, you can put a place of fucking holder. Has any of them any hearts or consciences, has they? They bring them into the world.
That's not very...
My child, from the time my child was 9 minutes old till she's 90, she'll be my child.
And no matter what she ever does on you, you'll never throw her out?
No fucking way. When she broke my elbow and I made the fries before I went to hospital myself, I still wouldn't fucking tell her. And then when I came out, then I fucking got her dealt with.
Okay, Bernie, you're on FM104. How are you, Bernie?
Hello, Adrian. How are you?
Grand, thank you, Bernie. Now, what did you want to say on this?
I'm just saying, like, no matter what, right, you don't try kids out because they're your responsibility. You know, I don't understand these people cursing and shouting and roaring at them. No matter what you do, right, it stems from their childhood. If you wear a child right and you tell them what's what, they don't stray. Don't stray.
In theory, that's great. But sadly, an awful lot of kids who have been taught right from wrong from the very get-go in life do still stray, do still make stupid mistakes in their lives.
I just think you have to persevere. You're a parent, you have to persevere. You have to stick to your guns on that. You have to say, hang on here, you don't walk away. You're a parent. You stand there and you'll be a parent for the rest of your life. no matter what age you are and what to do. You don't throw your kids out the street. That's not the answer. You persevere it.
And that's the job of a parent?
That is the job of a parent. You do not throw your kids out at 13 or 14. You don't do them kind of things, right? No matter what mistakes you make, they learn from you. And you're a strong parent. You say to them, no matter what you do, I'll still be here for you. You need to know that they're feeling secure. Most kids, I think, do the wrong kind of things. Don't feel secure in life. Don't feel secure.
All right, let me read out a couple of your texts before I wrap this up. If the parent had set proper boundaries and taught their child respect from day one, they wouldn't be having the problems of threatening to throw their child out. Some people shouldn't be parents. I'm a farmer, and I know many farmers that have put their daughters out for getting pregnant, and the rest of her brothers were told not to invite her to their wedding, or the parents themselves wouldn't go. Adrian, I was kicked out of my parents' house at the age of 12 and was taken in by the HSE. I really don't agree with kicking your kids out on the street. It was the worst thing that happened to me. I've been in and out of homes, residential units, hostels, and it has affected me physically and mentally, and I've recently turned 18 and the HSE have just wiped their hands clean of me, says Gary. And sadly, Gary, that is exactly what happens when you turn 18 with the HSE. I was in the care system and was passed from pillar to post, says Anita, from hostels to the street, and I was placed back with my mother at 14. My mother was an alcoholic and couldn't look after me properly. After I went back, I had to learn to fight and rob just to survive. I wasn't a bad kid, but for me, it was all about survival. All right, thanks very much indeed for all of your calls, comments, texts and opinions. This is FM104's Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy. By the way, if there's anything you'd like to bring up on tomorrow night's programme, why don't you call our 24-hour hotline right now on 66 89 731. 66 89 731 is our 24-hour hotline number. If there's anything that you would like to bring up on tomorrow night's programme, I would love to hear from you. Okay, 66 89 731 is our 24-hour hotline. Next on the programme tonight, here's an interesting one for you to get your teeth into. A topic that is controversial and bound to cause upset and anger, but it's a real-life debate that two of our listeners are having at the moment. Paulina and her husband are arguing at the moment over adoption. They can't have children because Paulina had her womb removed a few years ago due to cancer. Now they are looking at adoption, but Paulina's husband turned around the other day and said that he doesn't want to adopt a black baby from Africa. His words exactly. Now, before you jump down his throat and call him a racist, have a listen to his reasons for not wanting to adopt a baby from Africa. Is he making sense? Or are his views absolutely disgusting? I would love you to raise this topic for discussion, as it's a debate or a row I'm having with my husband. We are unable to have children because I had my womb removed several years ago due to cancer. We've decided to get the wheels in motion with adoption. During a discussion on the matter, my husband upset me and angered me greatly by saying, I don't want to adopt a baby from Africa. I want a white baby. I couldn't believe he said those words. He said that if we adopted a baby from Africa, for years to come, everyone would know and clearly see that the baby was adopted because we were a completely different race. He also said that bringing up a baby who is from Africa in racist Ireland would be very difficult on the child. What do you make of this? He says he doesn't have a racist bone in his body, but this attitude rocked me to the pit of my stomach. I need to hear other people's thoughts on this. And that's from a lady called Paulina. And I'd love to hear from you on this. Our telephone number is 6797104. Can you understand how this man has decided he does not want to adopt a child from Africa? Now, anybody who's been through the adoption process in recent years will know that it is very difficult to adopt a baby in Ireland, in Europe. And people are forced to go further afield to places like Vietnam or Ethiopia if you want to adopt a child. This guy says, no white baby, no baby, is pretty much what he has said. I'd love to hear from you. Our telephone number is 6797104. FM104's Phone Show continues in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
Ireland's #1 late night radio show. This is the FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy.
Now, you're very welcome back. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Tuesday, September 24th, 2013. It's Adrian with FM104's Phone Show. I want you to have a listen, if you will, please, to an email that I got from a lady called Paulina. And it's a dilemma that a lot of people have faced over the last 10, 15 years here in Ireland. The desperate need that some couples have to adopt a child, the desperate desire they have to want to parent a child and give a child a better life, and then being forced to adopt that child from a foreign country. I'd love you to raise this topic for discussion, as it's a debate or row that I'm having with my husband, writes Paulina. We are unable to have children because I had my womb removed several years ago. We decided to get the wheels in motion with adoption, but during a discussion on the matter, my husband upset me and angered me greatly by saying, I don't want to adopt a black baby from Africa, I want a white baby. And I couldn't believe he said these words. He said that if we adopted a baby from Africa, for years to come, everyone would know and clearly see that the baby was adopted because we are a different race. He also said that bringing up a baby who's from Africa in racist Ireland would be very difficult on the child. What do you make of this? He doesn't have a racist bone in his body, but this attitude has rocked me to the pit of my stomach. I need to hear people's thoughts on this, and that is from a lady called Paulina. And I would love to hear from you on this. Our telephone number is 6797104. 6797104 is our telephone number. Can you understand where Paulina is coming from? It's rocked her to the pit of her stomach, she says. She can't understand how her husband just doesn't want to adopt a baby from Africa. I'm assuming he doesn't want to adopt a baby from Vietnam or any of these places. He just wants a white baby. Is that pure racist? Now, he says that it would be bringing up a baby from Africa in racist Ireland, and let's be honest, it is quite a racist country, would be very, very difficult on the child. I'd love to hear from you. 6797104 is our telephone number. Tony, you're on FM104. How are you, Tony?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Tony.
Jesus Christ, I'm just thinking about, I hope Paulina doesn't mind me calling her husband an asshole, because I want children myself. Mm-hmm. And in the latter years, like in the last year, me and my partner went to find it. I wanted children.
Obviously, yeah.
That I couldn't have any children. I had if you don't mind me saying, I had an antibody in my sperm, and I can't have children.
Right.
So it's been so hard, like, and I would just fucking hell. Sorry for cursing, but I would love if it was Vietnamese or Chinese, I wouldn't care. Back to our earlier show there, like, about being put out in the streets, like, I'm 40 years of age, I had a hard life. I come from a family of 14, and, my mother, my father split up, my mother reared us, and it was just a hard life, like everybody, and I would give my utmost, Chinese, Japanese, just for somebody to call me, how are you, Daddy?
So you would happily have a child from anywhere in the world? It wouldn't matter a toss to you?
Wouldn't bother me.
Which is lovely to hear.
Wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, that somewhere along the line you could make a great father to some...
I can't have kids. I can't have children.
Yes.
Which was a very disappointing thing in my life, because I had such a hard life. Through my mother, my father was an alcoholic. My mother never touched drink. She reared 14 of us. I come from Ballyfermot. She was a wonderful woman. She died last year. And it was just, it's like a PS I love you shit, But, with this guy, I wouldn't care.
Now, one of the points that he makes is that rearing a child, a black child in racist Ireland, which, let's be honest, it can be, is just going to make the life of that child very difficult.
No, I disagree with you. What the job that I do, I'm a tour guide, and I've different nationalities on my bus every single day. I'm a driver and a guide, and like seeing the people, and I just don't think Ireland is racist.
Really? Jeez, I don't know what part of Ireland you're living in.
I'm Ballyfermot, in Chicago. I don't see it. Do you know, I don't.
Oh my God, all you have to do is tune into this programme periodically and you'll hear it.
Every night. I listen to every night. But, like, maybe I don't think about it, or, I've no room in my life for fucking racing. Like, anybody asks me, am I racist? I'd know if you tell them 2 colour televisions at home. But you don't do it, Have I caught you, Adrian, there?
No, yes, you don't have time for racism. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I know it exists. Come on, everything exists. But, like, it's what you do with it.
You don't believe that a child being brought up here in Ireland would have an extra difficult life by the mere fact that that child is black?
No.
I have to say, I think you're living in a slightly different world to the rest of us, because I do, but I actually agree with them on that point.
No way, man. Come here. My partner is black.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Jude, you're on FM104. How are you, Jude?
Hello, Adrian.
Now, Jude, okay, Tony says his partner is black. He doesn't see racism here in Ireland. Yet you can understand where this man is coming from, referred to in the email.
I can indeed. And that gentleman there says he'd love to have children. And in one of his remarks during the conversation, he said a phrase. He says, I didn't think it through. That man who doesn't want a black child probably has thought this through. They're probably desperate enough for children. But when you're desperate for children, you would say, I'll take a child from any nationality. And of course, because you're desperate for a child. But if you think it through, it would be okay to adopt, a dark coloured child or a black child or an African child, say in America or any other country. Ireland is so racist that father is probably, or wants to be father, would probably say, well, I love my child, and no matter how much I love that child, I will never be able to protect it from racism. If it was white, I would probably be able to do a better job at it, because it wouldn't have to go through that ordeal. And the father is probably...
Tony here is saying, Jude, that he doesn't see Ireland as a racist country.
It's not. No, it's not a racist country. No, it's not. No, Ireland isn't racist at all. No. So if Ireland isn't a racist country, if Ireland isn't a racist country, why is it that Adrian, who will concur with this, has heard many racist remarks and racist people on his phone show? If Ireland isn't a racist country, is he going through life with rose-tinted glasses?
I mean, Tony, you say you're a regular listener to the programme. You will know that this is a racist country.
Come here.
Or certainly, okay, I'll rephrase that. Certainly has a percentage of racists amongst us.
It's intrinsically racist.
Adrian?
Yes.
We are not a racist country. We are not. There's no doubt about it. We're not. Why would you think that?
Because I do this show every night of the week, Tony.
I would be any black person. But we're not racist. We are the most beautiful people in the world.
Oh, no, we're great people. Nobody said we're not a great people. But...
it's pretty selective on the races that Irish people like. They're selective.
I agree with you.
Okay, so you see... the colour of the child's skin would have no bearing on that child's upbringing in Ireland, as far as you're concerned, Tony.
Come here, Adrian. Come here and I'll tell you. I'm 40 years of age, right? I had a hard life, like us all. I'm not looking for brownie points. We all had a hard life. And I wouldn't give a I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't give a shit if my child had 3 legs. Black, blue, orange, it wouldn't bother me. When you lie alone at night, and I've lost my marriage, and you just don't understand, Adrian.
You're not talking about desperation, though.
Huh?
You're desperate for a child. So
okay, yes, and I get that, and I accept. I totally understand that that need for a child that Tony has. But Tony, one of the things he says, or that Paulina says in the email, he says. He said if we adopted a baby from Africa, for years to come, everyone would know and clearly see that the baby was adopted because we're a different race. Now, that's obvious, okay?
I wouldn't give a fucking shite what people think.
Okay, maybe you wouldn't.
Really, like, you know.
Maybe you wouldn't.
Everybody would, you know, I wouldn't give a shit about people.
But he also said that bringing up a baby who is from Africa in racist Ireland would be very difficult on the child.
We're not racist.
Let me give you an example.
We are not.
Here's a silly example. Hang on for 1 second.
We are not.
Here's a silly example. This couple adopted...
This is a silly example.
Hang on, listen for a sec. This couple adopted a child from Africa. And in 20 years' time, that child grows to be a man and becomes a taxi driver. And he's a taxi driver that everybody walks past his car. Because he's black. Now, Tony, if you don't think that happens in Dublin, then you want to open your eyes, buddy.
Okay, buddy, I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm a tour guide. I travel all around Ireland, right? I will not get in an Irish man's taxi.
That's you.
No, but I know, but I'm sure there's many other people out there like me. I walked up, I was in town yesterday, and I was doing a bit of touring around Dublin, and I wanted to go up to Whelan's. We were doing P.S. I Love You. There was a black taxi man. Sorry, wasn't a black taxi man, he was a coloured taxi man. I had him for the day. He was a gentleman.
I'm not doubting that for a second. That's not what I said. Listen to what I said, Tony. You speak to any black taxi driver in Dublin and he will tell you that half of the passengers that want to get into his car, or that want to get into a car, will walk right past him. Right past him, just because he's a black guy. So this couple go and adopt a black baby, bring it up and give it a great life and everything else, and that child chooses in later life to become a taxi driver. That same shit is going to happen to that kid.
Adrian.
But it doesn't happen in your opinion.
I apologise now. I'm going to say something to you. You're talking shit.
Really? Really? You've obviously never ever spoken to a taxi driver who day in and day out gets ignored by people, gets walks past, gets totally and utterly rejected by customers. You've clearly not spoken to these people. Because I have. I have on a regular basis, Tony.
Adrian, no, I disagree with you.
Remember, you can't disagree with me, it's a fact.
What's the fact?
The fact is that loads of black taxi drivers get turned away, or not. The people just ignore them because they're black guys.
Jeez, I came home last night and it was a black...
You obviously don't listen to the programme as much as you say you do, because we've had this on this show till I'm blue in the face, to be quite honest with you.
Adrian, I deal a lot with people. I deal with people every day, and my best people are the black people.
That is not this conversation. The conversation is about racism in Ireland, which according to you doesn't exist at all. So no problem for that child in later life. Simon, you're on FM104. How are you, Simon?
I'm good, Adrian. How are you?
I'm grand, thanks, Simon. Now, what did you want to say on this?
Firstly, racism does happen in Ireland every single day. I look Chinese, but I'm actually Irish, but ironically still get abused for looking Chinese.
Right.
Growing up in secondary school and leading on to college, I guess, people always kind of look shit at an outcast and scream racist remarks. And it happens on a daily basis, especially in Dublin. We walk around town and you see a bunch of people who are just like 15 or 16 or 17 screaming at you daily. You have to be oblivious not to see it. It's right in your face.
Well, according to Tony, it doesn't happen at all. According to Tony, it doesn't happen at all.
I don't see it, Adrian.
You want to open your eyes, Tony? Because it does happen.
My eyes are well open.
But here's a young man who says he's brought up, he's Irish, but he looks Chinese, and he gets abused just for the way he looks. Am I right, Simon?
Yeah, exactly right. It's ludicrous. Ireland's probably one of the most racist countries in Europe.
Ireland is?
Ireland, yeah.
Come here, buddy. I think you're in the wrong world.
Tony, don't be so ignorant to think that this young fella is after coming on the show and making...
Adrian, I don't see it.
But you're obviously a white guy who's not going to see it.
I don't see it.
But you're obviously a white guy who isn't going to see it.
Come here, Adrian, no, you're not listening to me. I am a tour guide.
If I hear that again, I know you're a tour guide. Whoop-de-doo. So what?
Right, so what? But I don't see this.
But this fella is telling you that it goes on. This fella is telling you he looks Chinese. And give me an idea, Simon, of the sort of abuse that you get just for looking Chinese, God love you.
People screaming over, chinky bastard, go back to Asia, go back to China. When you walk past those Chinese or rental shops, people assume that you live in those shops, you don't live outside. The assumption that every single person who looks Chinese eats dogs and cats, and they frown upon you for that.
My God.
And mock you for that.
But it doesn't happen, Tony, listen to you.
Adrian, I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
No, you did say it doesn't happen.
I don't believe it.
Why would this young fella come on the programme and make this up? Why would taxi drivers for the last 2 or 3 years, black taxi drivers, say how demeaning and demoralising it is for them to have people just walk past their taxis just because they happen to be black? How do you think those people feel?
Because probably I don't do it.
No, you may not do it. That doesn't...
We're God's children. I don't think you understand. You know, we're going back to having kids and I can't have kids.
Yes, I got that.
Right. So maybe I'm a lot different than other people. I never heard her. I've never heard her.
Oh, but, seriously, man, I honestly don't know what country you're living in that you never heard of this.
No, come here. I live in I brought up in one of the roughest places in Dublin. And I've never heard her.
Right, well...
I have... You know, I pal around with
Well, okay, Simon, let me ask you this question. Can you understand where that man is coming from, or the lady who sent me the email, where her husband is coming from in being concerned and worried about bringing adopting a child from somewhere like Africa or Vietnam or wherever and bringing that child up in Ireland?
I completely understand it, but I don't think it's fair. Because
nobody said it was fair.
Because you don't know how lucky you are. We're a great country.
Nobody said we weren't a great country.
We are, you know, I don't see any racism at all in Ireland. I don't.
Because you're not white. What remark?
It doesn't matter if you're white or pink or blue.
Well, here, hang on for 1 second, Tony. If you're white, you're not going to get racism in Ireland. Okay? If you're black... or you're Asian, or whatever. You are.
Come here, Aidan, I take people into Temple Bar, and they're black, they're Indian, and I take them...
And they're tourists as well, Tony. They're tourists, and they're going heading off home, and they look like tourists, so it's not as big an issue as it is for somebody actually living here.
Nobody has ever given me a complaint and said, oh, you're racist.
No, because they're probably viewed as tourists, and people don't bother them.
No, I'm talking about people that... Come here. Adrian, I have people that are living in Ireland.
Now, okay, Simon, you were saying that you understand where this man is coming from. You don't necessarily agree with him, but you do understand the points that he's making. And one of the points that he made is that he wouldn't want to bringing a child up who's from Africa in racist Ireland would be very difficult on the child.
Yeah, but see, people seem to have this exception from racism. So if you call a Chinese person a chink, it's acceptable in racism, but you can't call a black person, excuse my terminology, but you can't call a black person nigger because you're frowned upon from it. And
there you go. No, you're wronging yourself.
Allowed to be hit for it, but it's okay to mock a Chinese person or a Vietnam person or any.
Well, no, the fact is, it's not okay to mock you, but I take exactly the point you're making. Hang on there for 1 second. I need to take a very quick break. 6797104 is our telephone number. I'd love to hear from you on this. 53104 is our text number if you want to text the programme at any point. Terry, I'll be with you straight after the break, okay?
Yeah,
I know you wanted to talk to Tony. I'll come straight back to you after the break. 6797104 is our telephone number. This is Adrian with FM104's phone show. Paulina sent me an email which I want to read to you again. And she says, I'd love you to raise this topic for discussion, as it's a debate or a row I'm having with my husband. We are unable to have children because I had my womb removed several years ago. We decided to get the wheels in motion with adoption, but during a discussion on the matter, my husband upset me and angered me greatly by saying, I don't want to adopt a black baby from Africa, I want a white baby. I couldn't believe he said these words. He said that if we adopted a baby from Africa, for years to come, everyone would know and clearly see that the baby was adopted because we're a different race. He also said that bringing up a baby who's from Africa in racist Ireland would be very difficult on the child. What do you make of this? How does... he doesn't have a racist bone in his body, but this attitude has rocked me to the pit of my stomach. I need to hear other people's thoughts on this, and that's from Paulina. Tony says, no problem, there's no racism in Ireland, what's he worried about? Other people disagree with that. Call me right now on 6797104.
Ireland's #1 late-night radio show. This is the FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy.
Simon, you're on FM104. How are you, Simon?
I'm good, Adrian. How are you?
Grand, thank you, Simon. Now, what did you want to say on this? Can you understand the dilemma that this guy who sent me the email in the first place is facing? He doesn't know, he's not overly keen about adopting a baby from Africa.
Yeah, but blacks kind of tend to have the exception. But it's better to have a family than not to have a family at all until you're 18 and thrown out of the adoption house.
Right.
So, I kind of think don't be so picky. Be grateful that you can actually adopt a child and take the child. Don't just kind of go through forms and forms and forms of paper and choose, no, this is black, don't want this one, don't want this one, oh look, it's white, and get all fussy about it. Take what you can get.
And in an ideal world, you're probably right. He maybe shouldn't be so fussy, but he feels that it's just... He thinks that the child itself is going to have a very difficult life. Is he not right?
Well, yeah, but the child's going to be adopted regardless. If he doesn't adopt a child, someone else is going to adopt a child. So who's to say that child couldn't be adopted and live in a rougher area and get even more abuse of racism, leading on to more things that could eventually lead to extent. At least, judging by the text, it's going into a good family. So if racism does happen and it gets to the kid can talk to experience and sort it all out through the school.
Yeah, do you not think, though, that we live in a very racist country? Not very racist, but we do we have a degree of racism in this place?
Yeah, there is racism in this place in certain areas more than others, but it can be done.
All right, let me go to Terry. You're on FM104. How are you, Terry?
Hey, grand boys, how are you?
Grand, thank you, Terry. Tony is the one you wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
Are you still there, Tony?
I'm still here, yeah. Tony, you're a bus driver, aren't you? You do the tour buses in Dublin, yeah?
No, we don't do Dublin. I do outside the country.
Outside the country. Well, I can tell you one thing. Ireland's the biggest racist place you can ever think of. And the only reason I know that... Do you want to know how I know that?
Tell me.
Because I'm English and I get nothing but abuse every day of my life.
From who?
From everybody. You name it. I work in Croker, right, for instance. I work in Croker. Every weekend I'm up there on my job. And all I ever do is someone walks past me. You're an English bastard. You're an English this. You're an English that. But you ever notice at the end of the day, Ireland's always racist. You go up to, say, an African-American person's shop. Look in the windows. It says, no whites allowed. What's that stating? Racism.
I've never seen that.
Well, now, I have to be honest, Terry. Terry, I have to be honest, I've never seen that either. I've often heard stories...
Where do you think you're fucking living?
I've often heard of urban myths of posters like that in shop windows, but nobody in all the years I've done this show has ever sent me a photograph in to prove that point.
No.
There's a shop there...
Get me a photograph, Terry. Terry, get me a photograph.
You can drive down yourself. There's an African-American shop in Drogheda, County Louth, beside St. Peter's Church. It's a little African-American shop. They do wigs. If you look on that window, it says no whites allowed.
Get me a photograph. Send me a picture.
I get that photograph and I'll email it to you. Even better.
Yeah, do.
I'm there all the time. I'm there all the time. I go to Peter's Church. I've seen fucking all our Plunkett's head. You're talking shit now.
How am I talking shit? I'm living here all my life, you gobshite.
No, here, I'm not denying that, I'm agreeing with you on the point about racism. However, with regard to this claim that there are shops with this sort of thing, in the, not once...
I said shop. There's a shop in Drogheda.
Okay, not once in all the years that I've done this show has anybody ever, and I mean this, has ever proven that to me with a photograph.
Fucking shite, that's why.
You're talking fucking shite, you prick.
Well, lads, relax there.
Don't use the language.
Yeah, you stop saying talking shit. I know what I've seen in my life.
Use the language.
I've seen one at a whole in my life. I've seen one thing up in the window saying no what, and that was
no, you're lying. You're fucking lying. You're lying. You're lying.
How am I lying?
Lying. You're lying. You're telling porkies.
I've been here all my life, you gobshite.
Come here and I'll tell you something else. I'm in Drogheda all the time. I go into Peter's Church. I toured Drogheda. You were talking shite.
How am I talking shite? Because if you head down the Dublin Road, where the new Luciano shop is, you go back up the top of the road, you've got a Chinese shop on your left-hand side, right beside it. If you look on the window, you'll see it. A lot of my mates have walked into the place and he says, what's the story with the sign?
And what does it say?
No whites allowed.
You're a liar.
How am I a liar? Because
I seen it.
I'm going into shop and robbing and they were all white.
What are you talking about?
Put up a sign, no whites allowed.
You're talking shite.
How am I talking shite? You're the one who's talking shite.
You are talking shite. I'm in Drogheda all the time. I go to Peter's Church. Sorry, can I talk? I go to Peter's Church. I seen Oliver Plunkett's head. You were talking shite.
Well, can I say one thing? That's about 9 times after saying I've been to Plunkett's Church, I've seen his fucking head.
It is about 9 times you said it.
Near where I'm on about. You're on about fucking West Street. I'm there on the Dublin Road beside the big giant church. I can't remember the name, but I thought it was Peter's Church. But it's on the Dublin Road on the left-hand side. It's beside the shop. We buy clothes for cash.
Yeah, well, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but your claim that in this shop there's a sign saying no whites.
No whites on the window.
Get me a photo. Terry, there's your challenge. You have until the start of tomorrow night's programme to get a photograph of that and send it in to me.
I'll send it in and sticking that other bollocks on the other end.
Yeah, well, fine, whatever you... Whatever.
I'll stick them and I can't wait.
If that photograph, if that exists, I want you to send me in a photograph. I'm sick of hearing all this sort of stuff about
he's talking shite.
About things like this being open shop windows and all that. It's never ever been proven to me once.
It's there because it's not there.
It is there.
It's not. You're a liar.
How am I a liar?
You're a fucking liar.
How am I a liar?
You are a liar.
How am I a liar?
No tried. I know every fucking town. I know every shop. I'm friends with every shop because I'm a good guy. Because there's no racism.
Yeah, I'm a good guy as well.
You're fucking shite now, Terry.
All right,
but explain to me, how am I talking shy? I went to that shop specifically to get myself a drink one day when I was working down in Luciano's new restaurant.
It doesn't matter where it is. Tony, Terry, phone show at FM104.ie is my email address. Send it in to me tomorrow.
Yep, that's no problem.
Okay, phone show at FM104.ie, easy to remember. Yomi, you're on FM104, how are you?
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Grand, thank you. Now, what did you want to say on this?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that keep up the good work, Edwin. And the other thing I want to say is that, you see, this is actually a good reference for people to understand that, you know, Ireland is growing. And that couple that want to adopt an African kid, you see, the use of racial profiling, you people don't understand one thing. If you start saying that this person is a black, that person is white, that is profiling. That's totally wrong. You identify people with where they're from, the continent they're from. American, Irish. It's better. If you see a black person, it's better to use African. If you're not sure, ask which part of Africa are you from. It's not fair to be using color to identify
Okay, let me run this by you. This guy, about whom this conversation is being had, said to his wife, "I don't want to adopt a black African baby for two reasons. One is that it would be as obvious as the day is long that our child is adopted, and two, it would make for a very difficult life for the child."
Yes, it is. It's going to make a very, very difficult life for the child in this country.
Why is that? Why is that?
I tell you this for example, right? The school my son is going to, right? My son he was born here. At one time when he was 3 years old, he thought he's going to be white. He thought his skin is going to change to a white person. That he was telling me, "Daddy, I can't wait for my skin to change and I'll be like everybody in my class." I have to let him understand that, I have to let him understand that you're African. Then when he was in the second class, that's when he started getting the heat. They pick on him, the teacher pick on him. This guy doesn't have a clue. He's the first in the family. He doesn't have brothers. They pick on, and that is the generation of that school in Ratot. It's the same thing they've been doing to every African. Most of them, let me just say most of the African. I have a reference for different families that have been in that school. You see, Ireland is not ripe. It's not right for adopting of African in this country. Maybe in the next 20 or 30 years.
But at this moment, it is not a place to be adopting an African child.
No.
Well, now there you go, Tony, and that is an African man saying that.
And Tony, I would just say this to you, Tony. I understand your point. If you don't see it, go on the Lewis. Look at those guys that are checking ticket every day. The abuse they get. Monkey, this. You cannot excuse that.
Honestly, come here.
No, that's the fact.
Now listen to me, my friend. I use the public transport all the time. I never see this.
Okay.
Well, you're not an African man, Tony.
I understand that, but you know what? Ireland is not the worst country in the world. If you say this to the real Irish people, they will tell you that nobody asked you to. Okay, I understand that. I understand your point, but they will say this to you. Nobody asked you to come to this country. The fact that somebody will tell you that, why did you come to Ireland?
I fucking disagree with you.
They will say you took their job. They will tell you you took their job. They are taking their money. You're doing this. You know.
I disagree with you.
I mean, the truth. I'm not saying that every. Look, Tony. Look, you can disagree all night.
Let me get a word in.
This is the society you're living in. This is the society you're living in. This is the island you're living in.
I'm living in, okay? Right, the society that I'm living in. Right, I rent the house out, right? I rent my home out. I would not, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Irish people getting on the bandwagon here. Not one Irish person is in my house.
Tony, I don't, to be honest with you, to be honest
with you. This is probably what's wrong with you. You don't let people talk. Let people finish, let people start. I will not rent, my house is rented out, okay? I will not rent out, listen, I will not rent out to an Irish person.
Yeah, but that's profiling. If you say that you cannot rent a house to somebody, if you say you cannot rent, you see...
Well, come here, I have to tell you, Tony, you're one of the very few landlords in Ireland that feels that way. A lot of landlords feel the exact opposite way. They will not rent out their car or their apartment to a foreign national. That's how an awful lot of landlords feel.
Adrian, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
We can't tarnish everyone with the same.
Nobody said you can. Nobody is tarnishing everybody with the same...
Much up.
Pardon me?
Much respect for different nationalities that are in Ireland.
Tony, yes, of course we should.
Hang on. All my friends are Polish, they're Russian, they're South American, Costa Rica.
That's all great.
Yeah. Because
that's all great, and you're a very tolerant man, and I admire you for all of what you're saying. But you're living in a bubble if you think we don't have a racist problem here in Ireland. You're living in an absolute bubble.
Adrian, no, okay. So we go back to the fucking, excuse my French, we go back to the times that we were in trouble, and this is maybe by. You know.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Hang on, I want to bring in some more calls. Lisa, you're on FM104. How are you, Lisa? Well, Lisa, what did you want to say?
Well, now I'm by no stretch of the imagination a racist, but if I was adopting a child, I would adopt an Irish child or a white child, in fairness.
Well, they're very hard to come by in Ireland, but...
Well, I wouldn't adopt a black child.
Why not?
What would I look like walking down the street with my two children who are white, and then a black child planted in the middle of them?
So be it.
No, not...
You could have had a child with a black man.
No, but, like, that's different. Because at least then, like, in my family, like, if that happened and I got with a black man and had a child, like, the child would be mixed race. Like, if I wouldn't adopt an African child, because I just wouldn't. Like, I'd rather adopt from home, from someone who's white, like, or Irish.
And you say you're not a racist?
I'm not a racist at all. Like, I don't hate the blacks or anything. I just wouldn't adopt. I can absolutely see that guy's point of view. Like, I'd be exactly the same. I just wouldn't.
Well, now, there you go, Tony. She just wouldn't adopt a black child.
Which I think is wrong.
Why is that wrong? If I'm going to adopt a child, I'm entitled to adopt the child I want to adopt.
So, okay.
Be a boy, be a black or white child. I just don't want to adopt a black child. And if I was adopting, I wouldn't care what sex, what anything. I just do not want a black child.
Why?
I have looked at adopting before for children who are unfortunate.
About what people will think when you're walking down the street. That's what you're talking about.
No, not just that. Like, I just don't want a black child. I want my family to be like a whole family. It would look.
It's about your family. It's about you.
Having one odd one out, like.
Ah, you're talking shite.
No, I'm not talking shite. Like, my family is supposed to be a unit. I think a big, different coloured child in the middle, I think it just changes the whole look of the family. Like, it does look a bit weird.
Well, I'll tell you something else. I'm 40 years of age. If I could walk down the road with... It doesn't matter about if he's black, blue or orange. And
I know, but if you can adopt a child, why not adopt one? Well, if you're going to adopt a child, why not adopt one that's like a white child? Why do you have to go all the way over to Africa to adopt a child?
You don't have to go...
I think all these people who are adopting black children and all that, they're trying to make statements. Save the world and all that. Like, why are people going to Africa to adopt children?
We're not talking about going to Africa. You don't need to go to Africa to adopt...
Well, adopting African children, you might as well hop on a plane and go over to Africa.
I tell you, I wouldn't mind a little black child. I just say black.
Well, I wouldn't want one, and that's just my point of view. And then, what, you're going to call me a racist as well, are you? Because I don't want a black child.
No, I never used the word.
I bet you there's going to be a lot of people on the phone now saying I'm a racist, and I'm not.
Nobody said you were. But I wouldn't mind a black child to turn around and say, Tony, you're my father. And call me daddy. I'd love that.
No, but that child will always be looked at this. Like, I mean, that child's going to be said to in school, like, that's not your dad. Look at the colour of him and look at the colour of you.
It's not like that nowadays. Come here and I tell you.
It's like that, because that's exactly what I'd be thinking.
Come here. I come from a very big family in Dublin. Right, there's 14 of us. My twin sister, right? I have a twin, and every single one of her child, she's got a child, a wonderful child called Neve. And I think the majority, more of the majority in the classroom is black.
Well, that's okay, but they're probably with black families, not white families.
My God almighty.
No, but she's right. But she's right generally in what she's saying.
You're wrong. You're all wrong.
You're not wrong.
Come here. I've got great friends that have...
That child is going to... Any black child that's adopted into a white family is going to spend their whole lives growing up thinking that they're not the same and that they're always going to feel like an outcast, because that is technically what they would be like. Because they would be different from the rest of the family.
You're fucking sending them to the wrong schools then.
Nothing to do with schools. I'm talking about sitting around the table at dinner time, looking at the people around you. I mean, it's a very obvious difference. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's not an obvious difference. No. I've two white people and one black child sitting there, but it's not obvious.
No.
You need to get the boat. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Would you get away out of that?
You're just a big human. Would you cop on? As I said, I'm not a racist, but my choice, if I was going to adopt in the morning, I'd say I just do not want to adopt a black child. And that would be my right to do.
And you don't think that makes you a racist?
No, I fucking don't.
It doesn't make me a racist, Adrian. It makes me want what I want for a family.
You're a
racist. Don't go calling me a racist. How am I racist? Because I don't want a black child.
Why? Do you not want the black child?
People adopt their...
You're worried about what people are going to...
Why can't the black people adopt their black children? Why do I have to do it? Why do you have to do it? Like, I mean, why is this all happening now?
Well, Ray, let me bring Ray in. Ray, you reckon by the time this child grows up, racism will be gone out of Ireland? Do you really think that?
Well, Ray, just to start off, that I myself was adopted.
Right.
I was adopted. I'm white, and I was adopted into a white family.
Mm-hmm.
That woman there is talking through her backside. Any kid that's adopted will always have that sense of alienation of being different either way, regardless of colour or anything. It's just something that comes with being adopted. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm 6'2" and bald with brown eyes. My sister is 5'4" with black hair and blue eyes. My brother is 6'5" with blonde hair and blue eyes. And my parents are like two hobbits. They're about 5'2" each. So that's the first point I'd like to make.
Okay, but you would probably feel even more different, if you like, if you happen to be a black kid.
True, but what all these has brought up so far, Adrian, is the fact that in certain countries, like India and some African countries, what you're talking about is the difference. In India, when families can't afford it to keep a child, they literally throw it in a garbage bin. And you imagine, given the option for any child, be it of African descent, of Asian descent, or whatever, do you think of the life in this? Like, I mean, you can imagine the state of the orphanages over there, to turn them into child soldiers, sell them off as sex slaves. Like, you're looking at a life of complete abject horror for a lot of these kids, and to compare that to what possibly might happen in the future, being a bit of discrimination, I think.
And do you genuinely believe that racism is on its way out in Ireland?
I do, because like, if you think back to the 80s, I mean, I remember Lenny Henry, the British comedian. Yes. He said he used to have a laugh walking down a Collins Street because he was the only black man on the whole street. Now you've got every nationality, and unlike most other countries like the UK or the US, it's only in the last couple of years.
Yes, it's a new thing to us, yeah.
It's a new thing to us. And don't forget, no child is a racist.
I have to stop you there, Ray. I don't agree with you. I don't agree. I heard a group of kids only 2 or 3 weeks ago shouting at another kid. Now, I'm talking about 11 or 12-year-olds shouting at another kid, calling them a nigger across the road.
Right. So being called a nigger across the road is better than living in abject poverty with starvation in Africa.
Yeah, it may well be. You're probably right in saying that. However, the point that this husband is making is he doesn't want to subject a child to that.
So he'd rather that child stay and have a life of something Stephen King couldn't even write about. I mean, I think in Ireland we have a thing, not so much racism as differentiation. And what I mean by that is we have this thing where somebody that's physically different from ourselves, in the heat of the moment, we'll often blurt something out. Like if I'm playing football against a coloured guy and he gives me a dirty tackle, I'll turn around and say, you black bastard. If I turn around to a small fat lad, I'll say, you horrible little fat fucker, or whatever. And I think the racism isn't that deep-seated as it is in a lot of countries. It's more on the surface, but I don't think it's too embedded in us. But what you're getting is more and more kids starting off from primary or from preschool all the way up, growing up together, mixed, and in a couple of years they will know no difference. I mean, I think... All
right, no, and look, I would like to think that you are 100% right, and that is the way the country is going to go in the next couple of years, and that we won't have any sort of racism here in Ireland. I keep my fingers crossed that actually does happen. Anita, you are disgusted with Lisa. Why?
I think she's an absolute idiot the way she's talking about adopting kids. She's going on like like she's going shopping for clothes. Oh, well, I have 2 white kids, so I don't want the black one. Like, this is a child you're talking about. It doesn't matter what colour they are.
Well, it does to me, if I'm going to be bringing it up and rearing it in my house.
The whole point of adopting a child is that you're giving them a good home, you're going to love them, you're going to care for them. Not about, oh, well, you're not going to fit in because you're a different colour.
For me, if I was going to adopt, a big thing for me would be to create my family, and my family would be the image of what I want my family to be, which would be to be white.
So what's wrong with a black child joining your family? What, because other people think, oh, well, it looks a bit dodgy?
I just don't want one, Anita.
Does that make her a racist, Anita?
I think in a small way it does. Not overall, not as bad as some people. I understand there is racism in this country, but you can't tar everyone into one brush.
I just don't want to adopt one. I don't want to adopt one. That's just my personal preference. No, it's no different than if you want to go out to a restaurant and you're going to order it.
You have to be saying, if for instance you had a baby with a black guy, oh well, it'll turn out half caste. What's the difference? It's not going to be totally white.
Blood in it. It would have my blood.
It's not going to be totally white. Well, that's the point. If it has your blood in it, what's the point in you adopting?
Okay, Anita, let me ask you, the guy or the woman who sent us in the email in the first place, concerned about, her husband's concerned about adopting a black child. Can you understand where he's coming from?
To be honest, I think her husband is a dick. Because he's thinking more about what other people are going to think rather than, okay, how do I make my wife happy? How do I make the child happy? How do I make my family happy? I understand there is racism in Ireland, but you can't say everyone in Ireland is racist. Not everyone is racist.
No, I don't think anybody ever said everyone in Ireland is racist. At no point was that said on this show. However,
that fella was on before saying about his son in school. My daughters go to school with a lot of black kids and get on brilliant with them. My neighbours are black. I get on great with my neighbours. I love their kids. I treat their kids like they're my own. My kids are out playing with them every day of the week. So you can't keep putting colours on people, especially children. If you're going to adopt a child, adopt it to give it a home, to care about it, to give it love. Don't be adopting it as an accessory. Just to make it, oh, well, it has to fit in with my family, so we look good. What's the point in adopting a child in the first place, then?
All right, let me just bring in one very last call. Ellie, you're on FM104. How are you, Ellie?
Hi, how are you doing?
Grand, thanks, Ellie. Now, what did you want to say on this?
I've been listening to this conversation for the last hour or so, and it's making me absolutely sick.
Why?
Because I'm adopted myself, and yes, my family is white, but it doesn't mean that when I sit across my family from the table that they're going to be thinking, oh my God, this isn't my child. Do you know what I mean?
Are you a black child?
No, I'm not a black child, but I'm not white either.
Right.
My skin is kind of olive colour, you could say.
Okay.
So it's kind of making me sick, just, you know, people can be just, I don't even know what to say, like, it's just terrible listening to the stuff.
And when you hear the likes of the email that come in the first place, who from a mother, a woman who wants to adopt a child, her husband is not so sure about adopting a black child, do you think that's racism, do you?
I don't know what to call it. The thing is that one way or another, that child is in a difficult circumstance. They need to be adopted for some reason. So what difference is it going to make if they come to Ireland? I came to Ireland when I was 2 years old. I was adopted from a foreign country. I have a great life. You know, I have lovely family. I love my family to bits. My family love me. They don't look at me and think, oh my God, her skin is a different colour. She's not my child.
That's the way it should be for every child. Shouldn't matter what colour they are.
Absolutely, of course it shouldn't. Of course it shouldn't matter. Everybody agrees with that.
Adrian, that treat adopted kids, like for instance African kids, like they're accessories. You adopt a child to give it a loving home, to get it out of a bad place. You don't adopt it just to say, oh well, I'm not great, or well, I'm not going to adopt it because this doesn't fit in with my perfect little family.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous.
And it's not about a unit. Oh, my family has to look white. It's not about a unit. A unit is Like, a family is a unit, and a unit can be anything, from bloody Spanish to Italian to anything. People
exactly. Once you give your child, whether adopted or natural, once you give them good values, you give them...
Okay, and it shouldn't matter in the slightest. All right, let me just read very quickly a couple of your texts. I'm black and so is my daughter. The first time she went to school, she came back home and said she's different, and I was heartbroken. Says that text. I agree with the husband of the woman who wrote into you. Ireland is extremely racist. My son is mixed race and only 5. And he has on many occasions been slagged over his colour, called names like nigger, blackie, black baby. It's an absolute disgrace. It's like racism is bred into some kids these days. That was the point I was trying to get across to Tony. I'm not in any way justifying racism. Who would? But I know it's going on. And I just think that guy, Tony, just has his head in the sand. He's not living in the real world. I'm a Sikh guy, born and reared in Ireland, and I still get racism. I go to Liffey Valley and I get all I get is looks. Always got shit when I was younger and still get comments to this day. All right, look, like I said, Tony, you're living in a dream world. You're living in a completely different country to the rest of us. Quick break, back in a sec.
Even more FM104 Phone Show.
This is Phone Show Extra
on FM104.
Now you're very welcome back. This is FM104's Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy and this fella here.
Here, I want to run something by you.
Do, please.
And I want to run something by you as well, boys and girls at home, or wherever you may be.
Okay, yeah.
And this is something that a mate of mine told me he did. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just tell you the story and then people can judge whether or not they think it's weird, whether they think it's a bit or not.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, okay, go on.
Now I have to protect the innocent, so I'll call him a name that...
Isn't his name.
That couldn't possibly be his name.
Jeremy. Let's say his name is Jeremy.
No, because his name could be Jeremy.
Oh, right. So
Tarquin,
okay.
I've never met anybody called Tarquin.
Okay, so this fella Tarquin...
Because there's nobody in Ireland called Tarquin, is there?
I hope not.
Well, if it is, I'm not talking about you, okay, Tarquin? Or Tark, as we call it.
Tarquin.
Okay. Is there anybody called Tarquin?
Is there? If your name is Tarquin by any chance...
Is that an actual name?
I think it is, yeah.
How do you spell it?
Tarquin. Let me just check that it is actually a name. Hang on now. T-A-R...
Anyway, his name isn't Tarquin. Oh, it is a name, yeah, there you go.
Tarquin the Elder. Tarquin Motor Yachts, look.
Okay, there's a
Tarquin Records. No, they're there, it's there, alright.
Okay. So anyway, back to the story.
This dude Tarquin.
Yeah, are those lads there, by the way?
Who?
Those two.
Joe and Owen. So, yeah.
Well, tell them to listen in as well. I want their advice on this.
Joe, are you there?
I am, yeah.
Joe, stay there for 1 second, okay?
You listen into this story, Joe, because I want your opinion on it as well, okay?
No bother.
And Owen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Owen, you stay there as well and have a listen to this story.
Because you sound like the type of person that'd probably do this as well, Owen.
Okay, Owen. What's he got? Okay, yeah.
So a mate of mine is in traffic yesterday. Tarquin,
yeah.
In just any old car.
In any old car?
No specific car.
On any particular street?
No, let's not even go there. Okay. On the Keys.
On the Keys, okay. So Tarquin was in any old car on the Keys yesterday.
Yes, and he stopped at the lights.
Okay.
And he's on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Tarquin's a horny git.
Right.
He likes the women.
Likes the women, yeah?
Yeah. Did they like the women?
He's a ladies' man,
he's
right?
He's a ladies' lad, not like myself.
Yeah.
And not like yourself, though. And he stopped in traffic, and a fit bird pulls up beside him in a car. As it does all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
this is Dublin,
and
home of Ireland's finest women.
Well, don't be crazy.
So
he looks across and looks in the window and sees her and goes, oh, look at that.
Yep.
Look at her. Look at that honey in the car beside me. I want a bit of that.
Yeah. So, Belle Tarquin.
Yeah, Tarquin. So, she pulls off. The lights go green. He pulls off, steering the car with his other yoke now at this stage. She's so happy. And he follows her back to her house.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So Tarquin, may or may not be his real name, drives behind this hot girl in the car.
Oh, no. Yeah, go on,
Well, the story isn't finished yet.
Yeah, go on.
Drives behind her, sort of keeping not too near a distance or not too far a distance.
Okay.
But enough just to...
following her, yeah.
To follow her, and follows her all the way home to her house.
Okay.
She pulls up her driveway to her house to get out of her car. He gets out of his car.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what happened next.
Oh, no, I
just
need to
yet.
know, I need to know.
I'll tell you that a bit later, but do you think that's a bit weird?
Absolutely weird, 100%.
Or would you commend Tarquin for having the guts...
The cojones to do that?
To follow a woman to her
that's
house?
stalkerish stuff, that is.
Is it stalker?
No, sorry.
Well, ask the two lads, is that...
Joe, what do you think of that story?
That is bleeding weird.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
That is coming across stalker.
It is, big time.
But he said to me that when he saw this woman, Joe, that he
so what?
knew...
You have to move on.
That he knew that this woman was the man for him.
He thought this woman was the man for him.
Was the woman for him?
Or was the woman for him?
Well, in fairness now, by just taking one look at a board in the middle of a car in the middle of a road, can't really make it look like that.
Joe, you can't.
Now, how are you going to know she's the one?
You know, when you see the woman...
That's what I'm saying, like, how is she supposed to know?
No.
How is she supposed to know, like?
Well, let's find out the rest of the story.
Well, let's ask Owen.
Owen, what do you make of that story?
Oh, I don't know. He sounds like a weirdo to me.
Big time.
No, but hold on.
Big time.
Yes, and I said that to him.
You can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that now.
I know,
I agree.
But what I said...
As a matter of interest, like, how far did he have to follow her?
About 5 miles.
Oh, man,
from the Keys...
Are you for real?
Well, from the Keys to Lucan, so whatever.
Oh! From the Keys in town all the way to Lucan?
Well, he was looking for his hole.
Well, I don't care what he was looking for. No, man, that's...
So, Owen, you wouldn't do that, or you wouldn't do that, Joe?
Oh, not at all, no.
Yes, that's well out of line, Joe, isn't it?
It is complete. Jerry, do you mind me asking, like, I know his name's Tarquin or whatever, so he obviously doesn't get his hole that off. He must be that desperate if he's going to be chasing after a bird for 5 miles.
Okay, here's what I said this to him. I said all this to him, and you know what he said?
No.
He said, when I looked at her, I knew she was the one for me, and I didn't want to live regretting it for the rest of my life.
That's me.
That is just weird.
No, that's stalkerish. Well, as Joe just said, or one of them said, that sounds like a desperate dude who just doesn't get it at all.
No, he does get it, but when he saw this woman...
And I'm sure she was gorgeous.
When he saw this woman through the piece of glass in his car, he said that I want her.
So, well, okay, hang on, lads. I'll come back to you in 1 sec. So, okay, he follows her all the way to Lucan.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'll tell you in a while.
No, I need to know now.
I'll tell you in a while.
Lads, do we want to know now?
Yeah, what happened? Go on.
If I were her now, I'd throw a brick at his car, but... Come on, what happened?
I'll tell you later.
No, you won't.
Okay, well, Joe, what do you think happened?
Well, basically, I'll tell you what, I'd say a fella came out of there with a baseball bat and told him where to go.
Yeah.
Or showed him where to go.
And Owen, what would you say happened?
Yeah, Joe's right. That's what I would have been doing anyway.
Yep.
It was my
Bloody sure you would.
But do you want to know...
Yeah, come on, lads.
Do you want to know the answer, lads?
Tell us.
Come on.
They're going out this Saturday.
You're having a laugh.
I'm not having a laugh.
She must have some fooked up name if that's the story.
Well, no, his name isn't actually Tarquin.
So hang on, so Tarquin, allegedly, may or may not be his real name, followed this girl from the Keys.
Hello, Tarquin's not his name.
Okay. Followed this
there's
girl...
probably someone called Tarquin listening at the minute with his wife, and his wife's after saying, what are you doing following people home? So it's not Tarquin. His name is not Tarquin, okay? It doesn't even begin with the letter T. So he followed her all the way back out to Lucan.
Yeah.
And got out of the car.
Got out of the car, yeah.
And he says, sorry, can I talk to you for a second? And explained the story to her, and she was so touched.
Oh, she was touched?
She was overcome.
Overcome with
She says, a man has never done that, has never gone to those lengths to get a date with me. I'm touched.
So they're going out on Saturday?
They're going out on Saturday.
Somebody texted in, I bet Jeremy's actually talking about himself and is presenting it's his mate.
Jeremy's not talking about himself.
And then somebody else texted in, Jeremy, tell your mate not to follow my wife home again.
And then somebody texted in my minutes. What the hell does my minutes mean?
But...
Okay, very quickly, 53104, yes or no, do you agree with what Tarquin did? Do you agree with what Tarquin did? There's an old expression, Adrian. Carpe diem.
What?
Carpe diem.
What does that mean?
Seize the day, seize the moment. Grab the bull by the horns.
Ooh.
Now, in his case, he grabbed the horn. By the horns.
So this young lady...
Anyway, very quickly, 53104, do you think what Tarquin did was right or was it wrong?
Okay, so just text right or wrong to 53104. He followed this girl, he saw her in her car along the Keys.
On the Keys.
And he followed her all the way to Lucan, got out of his car and said, can I talk to you for a moment?
I spotted you in the traffic on Aston Quay.
Well, I just had to say hello.
And I thought you were the most gorgeous looking woman I've ever seen in my life. I didn't want to let this opportunity passed, will you go out with me on Saturday? And she was...
taken aback.
She was overcome. She'll be overcome on Saturday, girl.
He hopes.
Bloody right she will.
Well, look, there, the majority is saying...
Can I just say this is not about me?
Okay, right.
This story's not about me.
Wrong. He's a weirdo. Yes, it means the day... It means seize the day, not stalk the women. Wrong, no, he's a stalker. Wrong, no way, that's a weirdo. No, that's insane. Yeah, you have to have balls, a real man. A few people saying right, but I have to say the majority is saying no, you just don't do that. It's all to do with etiquette, man.
What would you know about etiquette? You couldn't even spell etiquette.
What?
You couldn't even spell etiquette.
Etiquette.
Yeah, there's 2 T's there. A lot of people don't realise.
Good boy, yeah, thanks. Yeah. But no, you can see a lot of people are saying no.
But it's after work.
I just think it's a bit...
It's after working out for him.
Isn't he lucky that she didn't turn around and say, get away from me, you stalker, and chuck a brick at him?
Adrian, there was a song that used to be out back in the day, yeah? And it was called... Actually, no, it was only a few years ago. Robbie Williams sang it, didn't he?
What, Rock DJ?
No, not Rock DJ. No Regrets.
No Regrets?
Yeah.
So he went to follow this woman so that he would... It's just, to me, right, it just sounds like stalkerish stuff or weird...
But did you never see a woman pass you? Like 2 ships passing on the night and you didn't say anything to her and then you think afterwards, why didn't... Maybe she was the one. Actually, Robbie Williams had another song about that called She's the One. Maybe this was Robbie Williams. There you go, look. Yeah.
Here's the song. So hang on, let's just fast forward a little bit.
They don't work.
No regrets, they don't work.
No regrets now. They only hurt.
Well, let's go back to the text and see what people think of Tarquin. Right, it's called Love at First Sight, guys.
Ring that girl because I want to get a female perspective on this.
Okay, lads, I know Joe and Owen are still holding there. Hold on there, lads.
You're going to have men doing this all over Dublin now tomorrow.
No, don't. FM104 does not condone following people like that.
It's not stalking. It's only stalking if he hung around outside her house with a pair of binoculars. Have you never gone to the ends of the earth for a woman, Adrian?
Oh, indeed I have.
Hello?
Emma?
Yeah?
How are you, Emma?
Do you believe in love at first sight, Emma?
I do.
You do?
I definitely do, yeah.
Now, I kind of do as well, right? But if a fella were to follow you 5 miles, jump out of his car and say, hey, can I talk to you for a second, what would you think?
Well, did he actually jump out of his car? He obviously didn't freak her out. He just obviously got out and was like, hey, how are you? Can I talk to you?
That's exactly what he did, yeah.
And did he explain to her that he'd followed her all the way to Lucan?
He said, listen, I saw you in traffic on the quays and I thought you were the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I didn't want to let this opportunity pass or I'd be kicking myself.
Oh my God, I think that's just so sweet. I think that's lovely.
Oh, you think that's lovely?
Yeah.
So if that happened to you, you'd be gobsmacked and delighted with yourself, would you?
Yeah, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, oh, too sweet.
Isn't that the most romantic thing you've ever heard in your life?
It is, yes.
Is it, lads?
A bit weird.
It is a lot weird.
Can I just ask you a question, Emma?
Yes.
Are you the woman in question here?
No, I'm not.
Are you?
I'm married.
Oh, right. And you didn't meet your husband in a romantic way like that, no?
I met him through work. We worked for the same company and we got married there in September, so...
Work relationships never work.
Yeah.
Well, they're married.
Oh, come on. We've been together for 6 years.
And tell me this.
Well, here, let me just read a text, Emma. Sorry, Jeremy. Girls are always complaining lads don't make an effort to make something happen, and when they do, they're called stalkers. He was right. So you would agree with that, Emma?
Yes. No.
You don't think it's a little bit stalkerish, no?
I don't. No, I don't. I think it's really, really sweet. Like, I can understand where people are coming from. I definitely can. But, no, I think it's definitely sweet. Like, I think men need to start doing more things like that for women these days.
Okay, so the answer from Emma is stalk more. And did no. And did your husband...
You'll get somewhere if you stalk more.
And did your husband in work, did he stalk you when you worked together?
You there, Emma? Oh, we lost her. We lost Emma.
Carpe diem, Adrian, carpe diem.
Carpe diem. Seize the moment.
John says that's epic. I'd love to have the balls to do it.
Right, okay. Now, Joe, you're a very patient man. What did you want to get off your chest after all that?
First thing about time.
Well, indeed, yeah. No, blame Jeremy for telling us the story about Tarquin.
No offence, Jeremy, but I still think that's your Tarquin.
Oh, no, it's not me.
I say nothing about it. Well, in fairness, why would you make up such a fake name then?
Because I didn't want to give a name that may sound even like this fella's name.
Oh, right.
Well, he must have a very similar name to most people in the world.
Well, yeah, basically the last thing he said to me, Joe, when he told me the story, if I hear the story on the radio, I'll break your effing legs. That's what he said.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, he did. So.
What makes you think that he's not going to break your effing legs now that he's heard it?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we called him Tarquin.
Tarquin, yeah.
So Tarquin, nobody knows who you are. Sorry, a couple of texts. That man is one of the last of a dying breed of gentlemen.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I completely agree with Emma, who was on there a second ago, says Neve. So there, Joe, next time you're in traffic, just follow a board all the way around town.
I don't need to follow them there, Adrian. It kind of happens a bit easier for me.
Well, they follow you, do they?
He's probably a taxi driver.
Follow me, I can just talk to them.
You're a taxi driver, are you?
I know, I'm not a bleeding taxi driver. I have a proper job.
But he's gifted. Anyway, Joe, go on. What do you want to get off your chest?
I just want to give out about those bleeding sky blokes. They come around to your gaff trying to sell you stuff, and you're like, I'm not bleeding interested in it. But yet they don't listen to you, like, they just come back.
And what, specifically selling Sky?
Sky and all this different crap. You know, these, like, Little Woods Ireland and the likes of them. You're like, I'm not interested.
Oh, right. Basically, people trying to sell you any old shite.
Ah, yeah, any old shite, exactly. And also, come here, I was listening to the phone show there over the couple of nights, and I've heard your man Fionn.
Oh, yeah, what do you think of him, yeah?
Pardon?
What do you think of Fionn?
I think he's a good old laugh. Bit of a gobshite now. He doesn't know what he's missing out with the old Northside ladies, down fairness.
Oh, big time. I agree.
Oh, do we have to go there again?
Yeah.
Why, are you with a Northside lady, Joe?
I'm a Northside boy, in fairness.
And do you prefer Northside women?
Well, sure, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, I suppose you had a trip to the Leisureplex and they're happy. That's a date for a Northside woman.
Exactly.
What are you saying?
Cheaper.
Yeah, a Northside woman to woo a Northside woman all you need is the...
Hang on a second there, Jeremy.
Hang on for 1 second. If I took my Northside woman to the Leisureplex, she'd hit me with a bowling ball.
It's called the Plex.
She'd hit me with a bowling ball.
Excuse me, when I take a woman out, I don't take her to the Leisureplex. They're a bit more fancy than that.
Oh, where'd you go?
Cineplex.
Oh, the Cineplex.
I'm only buzzing off you. No, I like to take them out to the cinema, nice romantic meal, then take them into the cinema, giving out a few smooches. Your man Fionn, he's obviously talking out of his gee hole there.
Oh.
It only takes him a couple of seconds to grab a board.
Now, come here, after that lovely expression. What was I going to say to you? Why don't you just put up a notice on your door saying no sales reps wanted?
Because then it makes them more wanting to call into you. I'm telling you. Me mate done it before and they just keep calling in the bleeding arseholes. It's all the air.
Yeah, I had the other boys, Joe, knocking on my door the other day.
Who?
The boys in blue, was it?
No, the other boys. The boy.
For the stalking, was
No, the boys in black.
What boys in black?
With the big badges on their jumpers.
Oh, elder... The elders?
No, not the elders. What are they?
Jehovah's Witness.
No, the Mormons.
Mormons.
And what did you say? Did you invite them in?
No, in fairness, now, you're the wrong person to go for the Mormons. You do work in a radio station.
Why, what's wrong with me becoming a Mormon?
I thought the Mormons couldn't use electricity or any of that crap.
No, that's the Amish.
Oh, yeah, that's the Amish, yeah.
I'd say they're a good crack.
Well, your man gave me a little book and all and says, are you happy?
Mormons.
No,
it's the Amish. Go on anyway. So he arrives at your door. Are you happy with your life?
Two of them, Elder Jebediah or something like that was his name.
And what did you say to him?
Elder Ezekiel, I think, were their names or something like that. And, you know, when you I need to get one of those spy holes in my door so you can see who's knocking before you answer the door. Because I don't.
All right, come on anyway.
So I answered the door and the two lads, are you happy with your religion? And
what did you say?
I couldn't get rid of them.
Did you say you were happy?
Well, I needed to kill about 20 minutes, so I stayed there and talked to them for about 20 minutes.
Owen, you're on FM104. How are you, Owen?
Hey lads, that's okay.
Very well, thanks, Owen.
Are you a member of the Church of the Latter-day Saints?
Oh yeah, of course I am, yeah. Down there every Sunday.
It's a growing religion, Mormonism, I tell you.
Is it?
Isn't it, Adrian?
Not particularly. Not in Ireland,
they wouldn't take you in, by the way, Adrian.
Why?
They wouldn't approve of your lifestyle.
What lifestyle?
Your lifestyle isn't in line.
Hang on.
Your lifestyle isn't in line with Mormon teachings.
What do you mean by that?
Your lifestyle is...
My lifestyle?
Is not in line with the Mormon teachings.
What, they drink Bacardi?
Yeah, they don't like Bacardi.
Oh, right, okay. Now, sorry, go on, Owen.
Right, lads, what I wanted to get off my chest was a few weeks ago, right, I was on the bus with the lads. We were heading into town for a night out.
Yeah.
And we got on probably the first stop, right? And then we got on and we were going, everything was grand and all. We were just sitting down the back, about 5 of us, I'd say. And then we got to around Terranure, and then about 30 lads and girls got on the bus, off their faces on drink, and then just started chanting loads of songs and all, singing and all, and then like banging on the bus and all.
Now the songs weren't like, what sort of songs were they?
Just stupid little rugby head songs, like, I don't know, and all the rare bog and all this kind of...
Like the wheels on the bus go round and round, round
Like
and
that,
round. Yeah, that's a great old song.
Well, you don't sing it on a bus.
You do
unless
sing it.
Well, you do if you're 3.
Okay, old MacDonald had a farm.
No, you sing that if you're 4. But go on anyway.
So a load of rugby tossers got on the bus, yeah?
Yeah, and anyway, then we got down to the Garda station there in Rathmines, is it? The bus goes by there.
Across the road from Abercrombie there, yeah.
Yeah, next of all, the bus stops. Guards come out, get on the bus, start kicking everyone off the bus. There was loads of people on the bus, like just randomers that were just going into town on the bus by themselves and all, and like guards kicking everyone off the bus and all, trying to explain to the guard that here there's people here that haven't been involved in what's going on, showing us the tickets where we got on, showing them where they got on, and all this kind of stuff, giving loads of abuse to the guards and everything. And like the guards, no, sorry, you have to get off the bus, everyone off the bus now. Women on the bus down the bottom and all.
So literally everybody who was on the bus was thrown off it because of these tossers?
Yeah.
I do have to say, Owen, when a group of lads, rugby lads especially, get together, they're very aggressive. Aren't they?
The rugby lads?
Rugby lads, when they start singing their songs and all that.
But what time of the day was this even, Owen?
It was night, like, it was about 10:30. We're heading into town for a night out, like.
And they just left you stranded in Rathmines.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then we got off the bus. A few of us, we said, right, that's grand. We'll get in a taxi and all. There was a girl with us as well, so said we'll get the taxi and go the rest of the way or whatever. And then we see the rest of them getting all back on the bus.
Okay, let's make a generalisation, a sweeping statement here on FM104,
which we never do on this show.
All rugby school blokes are all tossers.
That's sweeping. That is.
Yeah, it is very sweeping. Yeah. All you rugby lads who think you're so cool with your collars up.
Hang on.
And your big muscles.
Hang on for 1 second, Dixon.
What?
Just because you were kicked off the rugby team.
I played badminton.
Yeah, that's my point.
Badminton.
Yeah.
A gentleman.
Just because you weren't a real man.
A gentleman sport. Badminton.
What?
A gentleman sport. Yeah. I tell you one thing though, I squashed me shuttlecock a few times.
I'd say you did.
Yeah. I used to belt my cock up and down and...
So hang on, while the lads in your school were playing rugby, you were there playing badminton.
Guess who got the ladies back in the school days?
The lads playing rugby.
The lads playing rugby. Yes, that's exactly.
Fionn!
Hi Adrian, how's it going?
Oh, speaking of rugby following
Are you a rugger bugger?
I am a rugger bugger, in fairness.
In fairness, Adrian, you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to work that one out.
Right.
Jeremy, I thought you and me got on together and now you're taking the piss out of me.
I don't like rugby heads, Fionn.
But in fairness now, I'm going to get you back for that. You played faggers, did you?
No, badminton, Fionn, badminton.
No, that's what he called fagminton.
Fagminton, yeah.
Faggers. You were basically, you didn't really have the body shape.
I used to belt me cock off a net every night and every evening.
It's the only thing you could be that you could belt off.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Jeez, where's all this hostility coming from?
No, hang on. Seriously. Now, I've played badminton in my time. In fact, I played you at badminton in my time, yeah.
You're shite.
But the point I was going to make is it's not a cool lad sport in school. Sorry to anybody who's playing badminton in school at the moment, but I'd say they're few and far between. Lads, that is.
Is squash a bit more manual?
Yeah, big time.
Okay,
big time.
I played squash as well.
I'm sure you did there, Jeremy.
And
I asked him what school you went to.
What school did you go to?
I was in Blackrock.
Blackrock College?
Yeah. I'm sure you did.
Wouldn't you know?
Wouldn't you know?
Wouldn't you know? I had a lot of tossers out there, if you want to say.
Tosser? I don't know, we had a couple there, but they just weren't the people that fitted in, if you know what I mean. They're more the badminton type of people.
Did they play badminton down Blackrock College?
No, they do not.
Because you'd find plenty of cocks out there anyway to play badminton, wouldn't you, Adrian?
No, it's a lad's school, Blackrock is. Not badminton. Sorry, can I speak to another young fella who's in school and plays badminton?
It's a noble sport.
You know that school Wesley there in Ballantyre? They played there, but
sorry, the place isn't called Ballantyre. It's Ballantyre.
Ballantyre. Depending on whereabouts in Ballantyre you're from. But anyway, Fionn, you were a rugger bugger. Did you play rugby?
I did. I played a bit of rugby, yeah.
And what was your position?
I was a flanker.
I don't even know where's that on the pitch.
It's probably more. Adrian, you don't understand what that is, do you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, I do. Yeah.
Adrian, what's a flanker? What's a flanker?
He's one of the rugby players.
No, but what position is he?
Were you not a hooker? No.
No, I'm a bit big now to be a hooker. In fairness, I'm a bit tall for that.
And did you find that when...
Ringing in to give out about that gobshite Joe who came on there talking about me, saying all that crap about me?
Joe. His name is actually...
Joe.
His name was Joe.
Excuse me, I don't give out about how you speak. It's not my fault that I speak proper and you don't.
Oh.
So if you're going to be slagging me for that, it's not a very good thing. I'm only messing with you. Come here, by the way as well, I didn't mean to hang up on you last night. My battery went.
No, Fionn, we hung up on you,
yeah,
I think.
We did.
Anyway, what was Joe saying about you?
Well, that's rather embarrassing in fairness.
Yeah, it is for you. What was Joe saying about you?
He was saying there that I don't know, that I'm obviously talking shite about the ladies and everything.
He just got the feeling that you weren't as much a hit with the ladies as you may come across as.
Well, in fairness, like, I'm not saying if he likes to woo the old Northside ladies, and in fairness, by...
But hold on, you were going on that side like you're the Tiger Woods of Ireland, wasn't he? A bit of a ladies' man.
What lady'd have him?
Do we have to have this conversation
every time he's on?
You're the one that brings it up.
Excuse me, I didn't bring it up. You brought it up every single time I talk to you.
Anyway, you don't believe that it's a very manly thing to play badminton?
No, I don't. Not at all. And can I just say to you about that, what was his name? Tarquin or Torquin or whatever?
Tarquin, yeah.
I said there were a lot of Tarquins out in your school, was there?
Well, not really, because we all, you know yourself, you just waved the old SCT badge there and they come running. They were quite easy then.
The what badge?
It was actually the old, you just say that you're from the SCT even if you weren't, and they just came for you.
Senior Cup team, Jeremy.
Senior Cup rugby, Jeremy.
You pig. See, I went to a rugby school as well.
I went to a rugby school as well. De La Salle.
And you've never heard of the SCT?
We never won the SCT.
No, obviously not.
Adrian, De La Salle have never really had much of a rugby team, so I wouldn't expect them to even know what shape the ball is.
Yeah. Anyway,
you're saying when you show your badge with, what is it on? FUCK or what is it? No. FCUK?
SCT. Senior Cup team.
And the girls like that, do they?
They fall at the knees, even if you weren't.
They fall at your knees?
I know guys that weren't even in rugby teams. They just say, look, I'm in Rock or I'm in Michael's or one of them, the good school. Rumpus isn't much of a school, but you know what I mean, the rugby school. They say they're on the old SCTs, and the girls literally come flocking in for them.
Yeah, but who wants a D4 bird with the caked on makeup and the orange tan and the big furry boots and the doobs, and who wants a bird like that?
Well, in fairness, they're not really wearing the furry doobs or the furry things that you're talking about, and the doobs and everything like that when you have them, if you know what I mean.
Oh, they take the furry boots off when they're in the bed, do they?
Oh, they take everything off, Jeremy.
Oh, do they?
Oh.
Collars up, knickers down.
Exactly, that's what you're talking about.
Okay,
you don't want that. You don't even want the collars on.
Right, good luck, Fionn.
Bye, Fionn. It's been a pleasure as always. Isn't he a gent?
What?
He's a true gent.
You had to call him a rugger bugger weird, like you said you hate them.
I know, but you have to admire a man.
But he's a rugger bugger.
I know, I want to go out.
I want to go out with him. Is that what you're about to say?
Fionn, if you're still listening, we're hitting the town this Saturday. Where do rugger bugger go? Where do they go?
Huh?
Where do rugger buggers like
Don't hang around people like you. That's for starters.
Oh, do they not?
No.
Oh. What club would a rugby crowd go to?
Just hop on the Green Line, Lewis, and drive up and down it on Saturday night, you'll...
21s, that's probably where they go. Say, go to 21s. Is that where they go?
Wayne!
What's the story?
How's it going, Wayne? You play badminton, do you, Wayne?
I played badminton yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, no, he sounds like a man's man.
A man's man? I'm only 20.
Yeah, but you're a bloke, aren't you? You're a lad.
Okay, a bloke, yeah.
You drink pints and you have tattoos and all that, haven't you?
Don't have any tattoos, no.
You have your ears pierced?
No, definitely not.
No, but you're a hard man.
No, I play badminton.
You play and did you play badminton?
I'm just a normal bloke, I play badminton.
He's just a normal bloke, Adrian, just a humble guy that plays badminton.
Did you play badminton when you were in school?
No.
You see, this is my thing.
It's a great old sport, isn't it, Wayne?
No, not really. It's put on, but it's all right to, do something I'm trying to do, you have to work.
No, I have played badminton as an adult, yeah? But not as a teenager.
Did you ever do orienteering, Wayne? Did you ever do orienteering?
No.
You basically go out with a load of your school friends with a map and a compass and you have to find places. Oh no, it's epic. It really is. It's epic.
You just don't realise it. You don't.
It's epic. Orienteering.
You just don't get it.
What? Orienteering.
What a fool you make of yourself on this show on a nightly basis. You just...
Orienteering. How cool can you get? Map, compass, head, 40 degrees north, latitude 52.6, longitude 63.5.
And how many people were in that club?
2. Yeah, only 2 signed up for that one, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Yeah. The senior debating team was cool though. We were a big hit with the ladies, the senior debaters.
Right. Let me take more calls. Graham, you're on FM 104. How are you, Graham?
How's it going, lads?
How are you, Graham? Now, what's up with you? What do you want to get off your chest?
Basically, now, it's a bit of a sciencey question, but, it's been bugging me for ages now. In school, we were trying to figure it out and get answers, but, to no avail.
Yeah, Graham, are you a member of your school orienteering club?
Schools don't even have them anymore.
No, to be real, I've done it once before, yeah? And it involved abseiling, and it was absolutely great crack, yeah? But I wouldn't do it on a weekly basis with a club. That's just a bit weird now, yourself.
Oh, no, man, it's epic. Really,
and just back to the badminton, right? Scott just texted in, I used to play, but I'm cool now.
Oh, well done, Scott.
No.
Yeah, well done.
No, I used to play, and now he's cool. He gave it up.
Scott used to play. Badminton.
Yeah, that's what he used to play. Anyway, go on. What's your question about science, Graham?
Basically, when the beta particle is emitted from the atom, does the charge of the atom change?
Hey, you probably studied this in your debating society.
You say that again.
Basically, it's when the beta particle is expelled from the atom, does the charge of the atom change?
Oh, Jesus, shove it up your atom. What's beta?
Beta particle is an electron.
I know about electrons and neutrons.
I didn't do physics for my leaving, so I'm in the clear.
In fairness,
it's actually chemistry as well.
Well, I didn't do that either.
Adrian, that's like 4th grade chemistry he's talking
about. Well, why can't you answer it then?
Like, in our school now, we've rang up like physicists and everything, and they just give us like 10 pages of bullshit, and we can't. We just want a yes and no answer. Like, so is it possible to open up to the old public? They're smart. Get that.
You see,
on.
Yeah, I don't think FM104 listeners know about beta particles. What's a beta particle?
Sultan might, like he.
Okay, well, one of our listeners is going to know the answer. And just Jeremy, just back to your when you were in school, yeah?
Yeah, when
I remember Jeremy, he used to be a masturbator in school.
No, master debater.
Pardon me?
I was a master debater.
That's what I said. I remember Jeremy used to be a masturbator in school.
That's not what it says. It's master debater.
That's what I just said.
I was a master of debating. Don't be such a child.
Now,
child.
Sorry, does anybody know?
Yeah, there's the answer.
Where's the answer?
Lose an electron and an atom becomes more positive. Lose a proton and and becomes more negative.
Yeah, that's basic, but there's some sort of nitty-gritty details to do.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Well, hold on, did you hear about the electron that walked into the bar?
No more jokes.
No, this is
last night. There's no more jokes.
This isn't a joke.
It is a joke.
An electron with 2 protons walked into a bar, yeah?
Yeah.
And orders a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
The barman gives the electron with the 2 protons a pint of Guinness, and the electron says to the barman, how much will that cost? And he says, for you're an electron with 2 protons, no charge.
I'll go away. Actually...
Okay, here,
no charge.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, you know yourself.
Let's go back to this, right?
You've no sense of humour, Graham. That's your problem.
Hold on a second.
Are you listening to the answer?
Yeah.
Yes,
these science geeks.
Yes, the particle becomes positively charged after losing a beta particle. From Bren in Sandyford, who's doing a PhD in chemistry.
No, you'll get a job after that, Bren.
You probably will. More chance of getting a job than we have.
A PhD in chemistry?
Yeah.
What's that going to get you?
He knows all about electrons and beta particles.
And that's what we need in a recession.
It is, absolutely.
Particles.
So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Right, thanks, Daz. Thanks. Seriously, it's after ending like weeks and weeks of searching for an answer. But
well, don't be thanking us. Thank Bren in Sandyford, who's doing a PhD in chemistry.
All right, thanks, Bren.
There's one thing I've always wanted to know, Graham.
What?
About you're into chemistry and all that, are you?
Yeah.
What's the law of the lever? Do you know what the law of the lever is?
Oh, what's the law of the lever? Oh, I have it from, if my teacher's listening, he's going to kill me tomorrow. Jesus, what's the law of the lever? Wait, listen, where's my chemistry book?
Okay, do you know what the law of the lever is, Adrian?
Law of the lever.
Something to do with the lever.
Yeah. The law of the lever. Page 50 of your book.
I'm looking for my book. Book. There we go. Found my chemistry book. Right.
Okay.
Now Sharon texted in and it says...
Does she know about the law of the lever?
No, it says, Jeremy, seriously, it's a wonder you're not still a virgin. Between electrons, badminton and woo-woos, says Sharon.
I've really got it going on, Sharon. I
have. Sharon, he doesn't even hear himself saying half this shit.
The law of the lever. If you break up with a girl, you leave her. That's the law. That's what it is. Have you got the answer there, Einstein?
No, sorry lads, I only had the law of conservation of energy, laws of conservation of mass and the laws of conservation of matter.
No,
I cannot find the
you're
laws.
boring me here.
I love the laws of
conservation. Here, hang on, people don't tune into this show after a hard day at school to be bored with all this shite.
Sorry about that, Adrian.
Thanks, Graham. Bye. Bye.
Do you know your periods?
Bloody sure. They're a pain in the neck.
No, the table.
Seriously, I can't stand when they come around.
The periodic table.
I used to.
Well, what's the first 5?
Oh.
Do you know any of the Go on, give me one thing that's on the periodic table. One. No, you're not looking it up on... No.
What do you want to know?
Give me one. That's all I want from you. One element on the periodic table.
No, I don't know any.
Oh, you're as thick as...
And anyway, I agree with that person there. It's in a physics book, not chemistry, you thick. The law of the lever is physics.
You're as thick as shit, but not just regular shit, like cow shit, you know, the big shit. You can't tell me
There you go. The law of the lever is not physics, is in physics, not chemistry, you thick.
Who cares? It's all the same.
A lever is a rigid body that can rotate about a fixed point.
You better bloody believe it is. Now, give me one element on the periodic table.
There are types...
He's avoiding the question.
Lines of levers. What?
I'm going to ask him the question one more time and see if he knows. Adrian!
That physics question is for physics, not chemistry. So stick your PhD up your... Law of the lever is that for equilibrium to happen, the sum of the weights by the distance on each side must be equal to each other.
Yeah. Why did they teach us that stuff in school? What use does that have?
When you're pulling a lever. Simple as that.
Do you know any of the elements on the periodic table of elements, Adrian?
Hydrogen.
Oh, it is there, yeah.
Yeah. Helium.
Helium's there as well.
Lithium. Carbon. Nitrogen.
Beryllium.
Need I go on?
Sounds like you're reading them off something.
What?
Sounds like you're reading off.
No, you have to knock me off the internet there.
Give them to me again then there. Go ahead. Yeah, go on.
Hydrogen. Helium.
That's the second element on the periodic table.
Yeah. Beryllium.
Beryllium is there, yeah.
Yeah.
And give me another 2 and I'll be happy.
What?
Give me another 2.
Oxygen.
Okay, another 1.
Yeah.
Can be found in lights.
Helium.
No lights, the other lights. Red lights.
Spells danger.
No. When you...
Neon.
Neon, that's it. Neon.
Geez, brilliant. Yeah. See, I told you I knew all that stuff.
Why wasn't I interested in science when I was in school? I might actually have a decent job now.
Paul, you're on FM104. How are you, Paul?
How's it going, Adrian?
Very well, thank you, Paul. Now, what's up with you? What do you want to get off your chest?
Well, just getting back to what you were saying earlier. I'm from Tala, and I played badminton in KCS, and I've won a heap of medals and trophies, and I don't think it's not a manly sport.
Here, Jeremy, there's your mate. Is that the fella you used to play in school with?
No, him?
Yeah, Paul.
Do you like badminton as a sport?
Well, I did it when I was younger. I'm currently training for the UFC now in Belfast, like.
It's a very good... I think it's one of those sports that it is very good, isn't it?
Well, you have to be quick on your toes.
Yeah,
you have to be quick on your toes, all right?
You have to be light on your feet.
You do?
Yeah, you do, though.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to have the sort of the wrist action.
You do?
And the stamina in it.
Stamina, that's the other word. And how long did you play badminton for?
I did it for about 2 years in school.
For 2 years?
Yeah.
I tell you, Adrian, it's a right out racket to get into.
It is, yeah.
No, he was saying he's not a manly sport, or people that do it aren't manly. Sure, I'm training to be in the UFC up in Belfast at the moment.
Here, but yeah, but hold on, Deco, or what's your name again?
No, his name is Paul.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
You're talking to Adrian who doesn't have one sporting bone in his body. You can play any sport.
What do you mean I can't play any sport?
You played a football match once and we had to ring St. John's Ambulance Brigade to resuscitate you half time.
They did a great job.
But you were only standing on the sideline for the first half.
They did a brilliant job though.
You didn't even play the game.
Oh.
The first football player that had to be resuscitated for just standing on the sidelines. That's how unsporty you are.
Okay.
I think he was having an issue, lad.
Sorry about that, Paul.
No
you sound like a man's man to me.
Yeah, well, I think you two boys have issues, boys.
Well, we've lots of issues.
Anyway, Paul, good luck with the badminton.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Bye.
See you later, bud. See you, bud.
Paul's a badminton player.
You'll start calling everybody bud on the show now. How are you, bud?
I thought you were going to be respectful to listeners.
Yeah, bud. How are you, bud?
Okay. Now, Deco.
How are you, bud?
How are you doing?
Sorry, bud.
All right, Deco. Now, it's about where you live that you want to get off your chest.
Yeah. Now, Baldoyle is a lovely area, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I don't know what everybody's going around saying it's the scumhole for. I don't get it.
Yeah, nobody called Baldoyle a scumhole.
No.
Some people do.
That chap here, Adrian. Now, let's be fair. We had that chap Sean who was on earlier on. He drives me fucking crack, mate. I'm about to throw me phone at the radio here.
Oh, don't do that because you'll break your phone and your radio and then you'll never be able to ring us again.
I'm telling you, if I ever saw that chap, I'd rip his throat out.
Oh, Jesus, that's a bit harsh.
Baldoyle's not rough, by the way, Adrian.
No,
it's not rough at
the
all.
slightest bit rough.
It's not a rough area at all.
No, they'll only
rip your throat out.
Here, come here, Schwarzenegger. What part of Baldoyle are you from?
Admiral Park.
Do you know the industrial estate there up in Baldoyle?
I do know.
I know that very well.
What are you doing up there?
I used to give lessons up in the industrial estate.
Lessons?
Lessons, yes.
Oh, right.
And what lessons were you giving?
Driving lessons, you fool.
All right.
And tell me this, who's saying that Baldoyle is a kip?
A few people I know who I work with.
But you're one of Ireland's most famous people.
Good to go?
Yeah, one of Ireland's most famous people is from Baldoyle.
Nicky Byrne.
Sure he is, I know his brother.
Baldoyle's not as posh as Howth or Sutton, though.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's not far. It's in a nice location, you see. I like Baldoyle, near the sea and all that.
Yeah, it's a nice little spot.
It is a nice spot. Well done, Deco.
And it's Baldoyle, and although you don't have people called Deco in Howth.
Well, you do.
No, he's known as Declan out there.
Yeah, he'd be known as Declan. Why do you call yourself Deco?
Short for Declan, yeah.
I know, but Deco makes you sound like a hard man.
I'm not really though. I'm a lover more than a fighter.
I know, but will you do that? Will you say the whole rip the throat thing again in your real hard voice? Go on, let's hear that now.
I know, I can't be saying that.
Go on.
It's very violent.
Go on, threaten to rip my throat out. Go on.
I'll rip your throat out.
Oh, do you know that?
Right, good luck. Well, Baldoyle's lovely. We love Baldoyle. Good man, Deco.
Have a great night, lad.
Bye.
I'll rip your bleeding throat out, you muppet. I'll follow you up to Baldoyle and I'll drag you out of your gaff. See, I can be a hard man as well. Just because I play badminton and I'm a bit light on my feet at times, I can still be the hard man.
You can, I know.
I'll be batter you, Kennedy.
Yeah.
I'll send you into next week.
I know you will.
I know you will.
The FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy is produced by Jeremy Dixon. Hello. Show coordinator Katie Mack and Jennifer Judd. Research assistant Carl Dawson. Ireland's most listened to late night radio show. The FM104 Phone Show with Adrian Kennedy.
Hi, we're Codaline. I'm Gavin James.
Hi, we're The Shoes.
We're This Club.
We're Hudson Taylor.